Welcome to Best Ball Whenever. I have a guest here today with me. This is Blake Sanders, aka BSandark. He took 10th place in the regular season of Best Ball Mania 4 last year, was a 150 max. We'll take a look. I actually pulled up your lineups in BBMDB, Blake, so we can take a look at your lineup that ended up in 10th place. We can take a look at your overall exposures from last year. But first of all, Blake, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. Just enjoying the nice weather, getting ready for the storms, and trying to make a lot of money.
You got some storms coming there in Arkansas?
Yeah. The next couple days are supposed to be pretty bad, so we're just bearing down for that. Pretty normal for this part of the U.S. though.
Oh, is it? Okay. Good to see copper prices. We got Nick in the chat. Good to see both of you guys here. Oh, and yeah, go Wolves. Are you a basketball fan at all, Blake?
Not at all.
Okay,
I
I
like I
just
like to bet on it.
okay.
Whenever I'm told to bet on it, but that's about it.
I'm a pretty big basketball fan. I should just leave this comment up for the whole stream. Go Wolves is absolutely right, man. I'm so pumped. Wolves up 2-0. The only downside is, so speaking of betting, I did a bunch of NBA playoff best ball contests, and I was heavy on the Wolves. I took so much ant, but with the Wolves sweeping in round one, like obviously you get more points the more games you play. So they swept. All my Timberwolves lineups are dead. So I'm like, damn it. I thought I planned for this situation for the Wolves going to the finals. I was way overexposed, and now all my teams are dead anyway. So that's the only downside. But we'll take that. You know, as a Wolves fan for many years now, I'll just celebrate without getting anything monetarily from it. Yes, sir. Proper 19 best ball season. All right, we're gonna jump into a draft. Blake might be able to join us for two drafts. We'll see. But before we do that, I did want to pull up Blake's stuff from last year. And Blake, as I recall, you you were actually like you had a shot at the first place like pretty late in the year. Is that correct?
Yeah. No, we were. I was up there, and I had several teams in the last couple of weeks. I had a shot at first place, and then as it got to the last week, it kind of just fell to one team that had a shot.
And what was so you can see Blake's team here ended up in 10th place in the regular season. What was the prize for 10th place last year?
25,000.
Oh man, you got it the wrong year. I guess
Yeah.
this year there is no regular season prize this year, so I guess it's you got it the
Mhm.
right year because there was a regular season prize
Yeah.
in that sense. Yeah, I was thinking of the week 17 this year is pretty damn flat. Like you'd be pretty good in 10th place in week 17, but yeah, no regular season prizes this year. Here is your team that ended up near the top, and actually, rather than just looking at this individual team, which you can see you have Justin Fields with DJ Moore stacked here. Is it just a single? Oh, and Cole Kmet, and then you had Jordan Love with
Nobody, I think.
nobody. Oh, you had naked Jordan Love and got
I think I got in quarterback trouble at the end, and I just panic picked Jordan Love, hoping to get somebody late, and I got sniped on whoever was late.
yeah. I
So
mean, this would have been a great team if you had Jaden Reed here instead of DJ Chark.
yeah,
I think they were going around the same spot. That would have been
yep,
pretty nice. That might have got it done for you in the
yep.
regular season. So that's kind of a bummer. And then your exposures. I was just looking at this. So you did 150 drafts last year. You're not a slow draft guy. Do you do slow drafts for any contest, or you just opposed to slow drafts?
I try to spread it out over the year, so if I get to the end and I'm behind, I'll crank in some slow drafts. But for the most part, I try to keep it not in slow draft hell.
I've got 18 slow drafts going on right now from the mini Schnauzer because it was the only way I was going to get those in before the contest
Yeah.
closed. And I generally kind of like slow drafts. Just I like to mix it up, do some slows, do some fast. But here's what got it done for you is Raheem Mostert, 50% Raheem Mostert, who was an absolute killer last year. He was way outperformed ADP. So you must have been pretty high on Mostert last year.
I don't know. So that's kind of my style. Is I once I find exploitable situations, I don't mind leaning into it, and just taking on that risk. And last year the situation was the Dolphins backfield, right? It was kind of ambiguous. Nobody was really sure
Yep.
what was going to happen, and Mostert was going so late for so long that I mean, around 14, 15, 16, I was clicking him every time. And eventually, I mean, my exposure would have been higher had he not rose towards the end of draft season because it
Yeah.
was at like 60, 70% probably. And then I was just done once he
It's
started
funny.
rising.
I had the opposite experience where I actually so last year I was at Stochastic still during the this part of the year. I was at Stochastic and like kind of trying to like come up with takes, like player takes, which is not really my strong suit necessarily. I think I'm okay at it, but it's not like my strongest suit is player takes. And one thing I wrote was I was out on Raheem Mostert where he was going in drafts. So I was like, yeah, I'll just take Jeff Wilson later. So I was like very out on Raheem Mostert when it was a three-headed monster. I was actually very out on both Devin Achane and Raheem Mostert. I was like, this is a three-headed monster. It's just going to be so gross there. Devin Achane's going to get 4 touches a game. Jeff Wilson's going later. He's younger. Raheem Mostert, 31 injury history, whatever. And then when Jeff Wilson got hurt, luckily for me, I did most of my Best Ball Mania drafts like late August, early September. So by then we knew Jeff Wilson was hurt, and I started jamming Achane and Mostert and got way over the field. So I kind of lucked out in the way things went because
Yeah.
early in the year I was out on it, but it was probably sharp to be in on the ambiguous situation given how good we expected the offense to be.
Yeah.
Definitely worked out here. Of course, your second top exposure here, Daniel Jones, did not work out. He was also one of my top exposures. Did not work out well for us.
Man, I mean, what are you gonna say to that? You
Yeah,
know,
he got
it's
hurt. It wasn't very good. Yeah, what are you
the
gonna do?
offensive line was awful, just horrible. I mean, he couldn't do anything. So
Yeah. We're gonna jump into a draft momentarily. Do you have any other comments on your exposures from last year? Do you ever remember your exposures from last year?
yeah, I mean, I generally remember. I knew the Mostert and Daniel Jones were high. I think even with the Daniel Jones exposure, he's probably the one that killed me even more than Mostert the time the playoffs came because I
Oh
had
yeah.
so many teams. I had teams with no quarterbacks in the playoffs that I advanced to week 16 even without a quarterback. I think maybe there's only one, but um, if I had had two quarterbacks going, then I probably would have had a much better shot. But it was so
Yeah.
many two quarterback builds with Daniel Jones only. It was the second guy.
I had a million lineups last year that just I had some lineups that were like borderline for the top 10K leaderboard that just didn't have a quarterback for like 4 weeks at the end and got knocked out of the leaderboard. It was brutal quarterbacks last year, which I
Yeah,
think maybe is affecting the way people are drafting this year a little bit. There's not that many late round quarterbacks this year. I feel like there have been more in the past. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I guess there are a handful at least. All right, we are about to jump into a draft in the next minute or so. Mr. Good to see you back. David, we were talking on Twitter a little. It says, I have a $400 in my bankroll for best ball. Should I use all of that on Mania this summer or another contest? My goal is to make 15K or more. If your goal is to make 15K or more, I think I would probably lead you to other contests, like just spread out your exposures in the $3 five. I mean, we have 3 contests dropping tomorrow on Underdog, so I would think probably not Best Ball Mania. Like, there's so many people in Best Ball Mania. If you're just trying to make $15,000, I wouldn't go to Best Ball Mania. I would probably start drafting tomorrow and in those contests that are coming out. Do you have any different opinion there, Blake?
no, smaller contests for sure.
Yeah, if you're just trying to make 15,000, there are so many smaller contests where you're gonna have a much better shot at that, and just you're gonna be able to take many more shots at it. So I would lead you toward those $3, $5, $10 contests, and I think we're getting 3 of those tomorrow. Tyler, good to see you here. Yeah, Dimes, man, he just killed me last year. It was Dimes, and then who was the other? There was was it Anthony Richardson? No, he was going earlier. There were 2 quarterbacks like right there at like the around pick 110 that I would just double tap frequently, and that
Kirk
did not work out.
Cousins.
It was not Kirk Cousins, but yeah, he was another one. Or maybe it was. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was Kirk Cousins. I feel like it was somebody else, but it might have been Cousins. Either way, that was rough. Yeah, copper prices. We all have the goal of making 15K. I would take that any day in best ball. I think I had one winning year in best ball where I just got lucky enough to get 2 teams to the best ball mania finals. But otherwise, it's tough out there in best ball. If you're playing large field GPPs, it's just one slate. You're not going to win most of the time. So yeah, like the Rottweiler mid stakes contest, like the Rottweiler last year. Interesting. Yeah, I'll probably get into a little bit more mid stakes contests. Nick says his goal is to win $1 million. I would lead you toward Best Ball Mania then, Nick. I think, or I guess the DraftKings contest. We got some other things. Yeah, Bindle says Gino sucked. That he did. He was kind of surprisingly bad last year. I think I'll be back in on him this year as well. All right, let's jump into a draft. Enough talk about Best Ball Mania 4. Nobody cares about Best Ball Mania 4. All we want to talk about is Best Ball Mania 5. And I got to say, it's been rough for me not having any other contest play because I'm listening to other people talking about best ball and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, I just have the itch to draft.
Yep,
All right, we're
yep.
entering 3, 2, 1. I got the itch to draft and I can't do it right now because I'm committed to streaming all 150 of my best ball mania drafts, and this is of course the only game in time right. Oh, we got the influencer 101. Blake, you are the influencer apparently because I haven't been getting this. We get the 101 while you're here with me. Who do you like at the 101?
McCaffrey is probably the safe pick. I am not going McCaffrey. I'm going CeeDee Lamb and Tyreek Hill there, or Jamar Chase. I'm letting that be the one that kind of flattens out my exposure. I just I don't have a great reason other than I like the zero RB build better, and I don't think that I think we can make up for it later. Is a better point. I mean, you can't ever make up for McCaffrey. Don't get me wrong, but
All right.
easier to make up at running back than receiver.
Oh, that is definitely true. Yeah, I do a lot of either anchor RB early on, hero RB, or I do zero RB. So I'm between McCaffrey and CeeDee Lamb here. I'm going to let you make the pick. Who do you want? Should we go with your guys, CeeDee Lamb, or do you want to do differently this one and take McCaffrey?
Let's go CeeDee Lamb.
All right, we're going CeeDee. We're getting a little bit different with the first overall pick, giving a gift potentially to a Vincent. But I agree with you from a structural standpoint. Like it's just so much easier to make up later with running backs because there's so many late like mid round running backs that I love this year. So I'm kind of
Yep.
with you on the structure there. Copper that is kind of brutal. 3250 last year would have been 8,000. I mean, that's not that brutal. Like as far as like there are some where it's like I won 10,000 last year would have been 100,000 this year. I think towards the top. So not as brutal as some, but yeah, that's not fun. All right, so we got C.D. Lamb with the first pick. Oh man, McCaffrey falls all the way to 3. Johnny Kolar gets McCaffrey at the 3. That is a gift potentially to John. I say potentially because it's like I'm always worried about running backs getting hurt, so it's like it feels like a gift right now. It's definitely a gift from a from an EV perspective. I think to get McCaffrey at 3 just because it's going to be so rare. He's going to be able to have McCaffrey with some players that's going to be kind of a unique build. Like the player that's going to be available in the second round, late second round for him is probably going to be a little bit unique. So from an EV standpoint, I think it is a gift to get him at 3. Of course, doesn't always play out the way we think it will.
I'm not totally out on McCaffrey yet. I think we still have the least amount of information and the least amount of movers, and so I think right now I'd rather default to what I'm comfortable with in the zero RB, and then as the ADPs kind of sort themselves out later, if I find that some of those later mid round RBs are moving up, that'll mean the wide receivers move down, and
Yeah.
then I can kind of switch it up a little bit. But I'm kind of just defaulting zero RB right now,
Yeah.
and until more information comes available.
Take what the room has given you to some extent.
Yep.
How many drafts have you done so far?
So I am on BBM. I am 21 in.
Deeper
So
into it than I am.
I have it. I try to do about 40. I'm going to try to do 40 each month,
Okay,
roughly.
that's a
And
good goal.
so I tried to stop before the schedule got released this month, and then I'll finish up my 40 once the schedule releases, and kind of just go from there.
Do you do anything different with the timing? Like you try to take advantage of the drunk 2 a.m. drafters, or are you drafting like mid afternoon? When do you usually draft?
So last year I did. Last year I tried to take advantage of the late nighters, only to find out that I am no longer a late nighter and fall asleep during a couple drafts. So
Oh no.
I had to give up on that. And then also I got a newborn now, and
Oh, you
so
do.
I draft when I can now.
Yeah, yeah. When you have a newborn, I imagine that's got to be. You can't really plan these things.
Hmm.
All right, we're coming back around midway through the second round. See if there's any big surprise. I mean, McCaffrey falling to 3 is obviously a pretty big surprise, but other than that,
Pretty square.
yeah, Marvin Harrison going 11 overall. Is a little bit unique. The turn gets Garrett Wilson and Drake London. We got Gibbs, Kyron, a little bit early for Kyron here relative to where he's been going recently. He's been falling sometimes. So I think I got him in the third round recently. So that is a little
Snag.
early for Kyron Williams. How are you feeling about Kyron Williams now with the addition of Blake Corum?
I mean, I, even in that part of the draft, I'm still generally going wide receiver. Now, if he starts falling to the end of the second, start of the third, I'll be snatching him up I'm not worried about Blake Corum. His, you
Yeah.
know, he'll get some of the workload, but Kyron was good last year. You know, he's got all the stuff for him going.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I kind of think Kyron is still our. It is our pick. Do you have? I'll sort by ADP here for you, so you can take a look at the landscape. But any wide receivers jumping up off the page to you?
I'm a Debo person here.
I like Debo too, and then we got to take two picks here. So do you have a second wide receiver, or do you want to go Laporta, Jacob, something different?
Um, I'm okay with really any Diggs, Neighbors, or more. I'm really okay with any of those guys. I think maybe DJ Moore might be a faller later. So,
I think he
um,
is in the process of falling right now. I mean, as is
yeah,
Diggs to some extent.
yeah, and that's kind of what's weird. And I don't know that I like pulling up Laporta that much. Let's do Diggs
All
if
right,
that's okay.
I'm cool with Diggs.
It's kind of a chalky start, but
Now we have the potential of getting CJ Stroud on the next turn if we want him. I don't know if you want to go
right.
quarterback that early, but it's at least we could get a stack out of the way kind of early there.
So
Um,
what is your take on that? Because I'm kind of of the opinion when people come in that Mahomes will jump CJ Stroud again. CJ Stroud will drop a little bit.
yeah, yeah, I kind of think that's already happening to some extent actually. Like I think, and I think I'm sort of in Mahomes now that it just feels like he has real weapons. Like last year was kind of like, okay, he's got Travis Kelsey. We know he has Travis Kelsey, and then from there it was like nobody felt good about Rashi Rice last year. He was like a 12th round pick, I want to say 12th, 13th round, even as a round two wide receiver pick for on the Chiefs. Like it should have been more obvious, I think, than it was. Um, and then we did the Sky Moore thing a little bit again last year, but it was pretty ugly taking Chiefs receivers with Mahomes last year. Whereas this year it feels pretty good. Like getting Marquise Brown, mid 60s, 70 kind of pick. Getting Xavier Worthy kind of feels fun to pick him where he's going. I don't actually hate the falling Rashi Rice. I'm kind of like in on Rashi Rice as he falls because I don't think he's going to be suspended for 8 games. So it feels a lot better taking Mahomes now, knowing that you have these options coming later. So sometimes, I take Mahomes when I don't have Kelsey and just like, all right, one of these three receivers is probably going to fall back to me. And I think a lot of people are kind of doing that same thing. So I think I'm with you that Mahomes probably goes ahead of Stroud, but I also don't think Stroud is going to fall, further from where he is right now. If we can get him
Yep.
at the next turn at 40, I think his ADP is at like 43 now, I want to say.
Yep.
Um, so I don't think he's going to fall much from where he is, which doesn't feel great as a non-running quarterback. Let me see what his ADP is. Yeah, Mahomes, okay, is up to 44. Oh, Stroud is at 47, 47.6. So I guess is not quite as high as I thought he was. I'm
Mahomes has got pushed up. I haven't drafted a lot the last couple of days, so Mahomes has got pushed up quite a bit.
Yeah, no, it's people are. I think everybody's kind of thinking just like I kind of laid out right there. It's just like, yeah, you can just take him. You don't need to like have. Used to be you kind of like, or at least for me, I didn't want to draft Mahomes unless I already had Kelsey in the past. Whereas now it's just like you have all these backstacking options pretty early, so you can complete your stack fairly early. Feel pretty good about it with Mahomes. So not a huge shock that Mahomes going earlier. What I don't feel good about is taking him ahead of Lamar Jackson, which I've
Hmm.
actually done it once or twice, but it never feels great when Lamar is still on the board there. But it's like if Zay Flowers, so our next pick, for example, if Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews are both off the board before it gets back to us, and Lamar is there, but we also have the option of CJ Stroud. I think I would be more inclined to just take CJ Stroud and complete the stack. But I don't know if that's right because obviously I project Lamar better. I think he's probably going to put up more fantasy points. How do you feel about that when you get in that kind of situation where it's like I could complete my stack, feel good about that, but also I'm losing some projection here. What do you do in that case?
I'm okay completing that. Also, I mean, if Lamar is also there, though, I'm also okay like taking Lamar and then grabbing Andrews too and just doing it that way.
I'm
Because
saying
right
if
here,
if Andrews is off the board is what I mean.
oh,
Yeah, if
oh,
Andrews is there, I
yeah,
would just do that. But
yeah. No, if that's the case, then yeah, I'm just taking Stroud and being done with it, not having to worry about the stack anymore.
okay, yeah, we're on the same page then. Yeah, it's generally what I do, but then oftentimes I wonder, I'm like, is this wrong to just like give up projection for the sake of this? I don't think it is, but I don't know. Sometimes I struggle with it when
I
it's
mean,
like
we're
I
talking
clearly.
we're talking how many points of projection at this point? I mean, it's so small
True.
and the variance is so much that
Yeah, that
it,
is a good point. It's not actually that huge of a projection dip there.
yeah.
All right, we go. Oh, there's a little bit of a running back avalanche, which I kind of like to see. Even though
Yep.
we don't have a running back yet, it's still like I don't really want to be taking a running back yet. So, yeah, I'm happy with everybody else taking theirs. Trying to say, I don't think I recognize. I don't think anybody here is in chat with us. Just looking at the names in this draft. If anybody is drafting with us, let me know in chat. I'll take a look at your team. Um, but I don't think like none of these were in the drafts with me yesterday, as I recall. All right,
Nice.
another. We got a run on tight ends. We got a run on running backs. A couple quarterbacks off the board. If we want to keep going wide receivers, we probably have that opportunity here.
Let's see the board.
You mean what's available?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're up next. We'll see what A Vincent. I was so excited to take my Lamar Mark Andrews stack there. He
Yeah. I would have
goes
been all over
Lamar.
that.
All right, so we could go CJ Stroud, complete that stack with Diggs. What do you think?
Yeah. So I think we start CJ Stroud and figure out our next one. What do you think?
So I would usually be inclined to take Mark Andrews here, even though we can't get Lamar Jackson. We could be kind to A Vincent and just take Christian Kirk or James Cook instead. I'm good with whatever.
So I'm actually an elite tight end person. I do like grabbing an elite tight end here.
Should we just go Andrews?
Andrews or Pitts. I like Pitts more, but Andrews is fine too. Whichever you
Uh,
like more is fine by me.
I mean, if you like Pitts more, we will do A Vincent a solid. Leave his guy Andrews for him. I'm high on Pitts this year. Also, I just think that offense is so much better than it has been in the past. So I'm good with that.
We've just never seen that group operate under competent coach or quarterback play.
Yeah,
And now we got both. Like
yeah.
it could be big. It could be a big year.
All right, so let's see so Johnny Kolar takes naked Mahomes, obviously with the same thought that we've been laying out, but this is risky because he didn't pick again until pick 70, where that's I think all three of the wide receivers for Kansas City have an ADP prior to 70. So this is a risk that I've taken, and man, does it hurt when you don't get your stack there. Like if none of the receivers come back to you, you put yourself in a bind because there's nobody else you want to take from Kansas City. Like, do you have any fallback options there if you don't get any of Rice, Worthy, or Marcus Brown?
I mean, you don't have much to work with after that. You're trying to. I think I was watching a stream yesterday. They were talking about CEH. Don't love that. I mean, it works
No,
for a zero RB build, but after that, you're kind of just taking shots at what Sky Moore. He might not even make the team. Like,
Justin Watson going back there.
yeah, yeah. I mean, sure. Maybe Justin Watson like maybe gives you one game when it matters, but getting him there, too, is part of the challenge. And if you only have a couple drafts with Justin Watson, what's your likelihood of that being the one that gets there?
Maybe this is the year that Justin Ross gets there after my friend Scott Barrett was all over him last year, and he was not really available all that much and never did anything. I think the dream is probably dead there. But as far as upside late receivers for the Chiefs, I don't know. Somebody to consider, I guess. But yeah, I would if those three receivers go, you're kind of hurting there with Mahomes. But obviously, hoping that's not the case.
So for me,
Yeah,
our next pick is the hardest one, is the one I'm struggling with the most. This 6-7 turn area is the
yeah,
hardest for me.
agreed. It's like the beginning of a large running back tier often where it's like I view the running backs available at seven like with an ADP around 72 similarly to the running backs with an ADP around like 120. So it's like it's the beginning of that tier of like I don't really care about these running backs. I'll take whoever is available. I like so many of them. Sometimes you can complete like a stack like you do your if you took Jamar Chase you could do Burrow there. We took CD Lamb so we could take Dak, but we already have CJ Stroud, so that doesn't feel that great. The wide receivers, it's not. I don't know. I agree with you. It's kind of a gross part of the draft.
I mean, had we not taken CJ Stroud, I'd say we take Dak and figure something else out.
Yeah,
And
right.
then um
And we still could. We could complete both of our stacks early, but it doesn't feel good to take two quarterbacks that early.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, I mean, it'd be okay. It's not my favorite because I also like Brock Purdy, and we can just do the same thing with Brock Purdy on the next
True.
go round.
Yep. Evan Ingram goes at 64, so I think he's been rising up a little bit. I like Ingram, around this pick sometimes, especially if I don't already have a tight end. I think he's always a great fallback option. But all right, let's see who is going to be available here, and I'll sort by rank, and then we can sort by ADP too. So we got both of these Kansas City receivers at the top of my board. Johnny Kolar. Now he's sweating because now he's got just Rashee Rice with 2 picks left to go. We could take Kittle at that turn if he's still available and continue and do the Brock Purdy stack if he's there. I don't hate Kenneth. I mean, if Kenneth Walker falls to us, his ADP of 61.4, he's kind of ahead of that tier for me. So I wouldn't mind taking Kenneth Walker with this pick, and he goes. Uh, I haven't taken any. I don't have a share of Lad McConkey yet, so we could go there. Yeah, it's. I mean,
How do you feel
it's.
about Brian Thomas?
I think I'm neutral. I don't have a strong take on Brian Thomas. I'm willing to take him. I know there are some people who are completely out on Brian Thomas, but I think it's a pretty nice landing spot in Jacksonville. I'm willing to go back to Jacksonville this year, kind of make the bet on them. Man, Johnny Kolar did not take Rashee Rice. I mean, do we just take Rashee Rice here? Oh, we could
So
do Kittle.
I'm definitely in on Kittle. I
Yeah.
do like when the tight ends fall for a double elite tight end. I do
Yep.
like that,
I
Bill.
do too.
And then it's our pick of receivers, really. My pick here is Brian Thomas because I like the stacking partner later with maybe Gabe Davis, maybe Trevor Lawrence, falling to us later.
True.
Um,
All right, we got Kittle. So you're taking Thomas over Rashee Rice. So you're not a believer in Rashee Rice. I'm good with
I
that.
am a believer. I think once the suspension news becomes official, he still might have some room to drop, which he could still be a great value now, but
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna rise very fast unless it comes out that his suspension doesn't happen until maybe next year, or the suspension is only like 1 or 2 games. Outside of those two scenarios, I think he's gonna be pretty sticky here for a while.
Johnny Kolar is still not snap taking Rashee Rice. Okay. We gave him the gift of Rashee Rice there. He has fallen into a really solid drafter because he got Christian McCaffrey at 3. Nico Collins, right where Nico Collins goes. Devontae Smith. I guess he reached a little bit on Devontae Smith. Flowers at ADP. But then he gets Mahomes a little bit past ADP, gets Rashee Rice well past ADP. I guess it's not that much of a gift because he could have just flipped those two. Like he takes Rashee Rice at 70. Lad McConkey is still probably available there. So, but he's playing with fire and it's working out for him. All right.
Kittle.
So we do have the double stack with Debo and Kittle. Would you then? So now we took Brian Thomas for the potential of Trevor Lawrence. Now, would you try to push Brock Purdy, or do you think we try and we just lock him up since we have the double stack?
I think it depends on what running backs are available that come back around to us.
Yeah, that's
If there's
also that's
if
fair.
we really like those guys, then we take our running backs. If not, then I think we make a push for Trevor on the next go around.
Yeah. All right. So Bindle says I think those are the most likely scenarios for Rice, though. Uh, I'm wondering what you mean by that, Bindles. What are the most likely scenarios for Rice? Is in such a lottery contest, shoot for the moon with Rice at depressed cost. So that's kind of where I'm at in general. I'm in on Rashee Rice at this cost, in part because I think if the suspension is 4 games, I think people right now are sort of baking in an 8-game suspension for Rashee Rice, and that's why he's fallen so much. I think that if we like news comes out on the other hand, where it's like it's 4 games, I actually think that he might rise a little bit here. So that is kind of my. But I think you're right that he's at least got a wide range of outcomes. Like where he's fallen right now, some rooms are like I'm totally out on this guy. It's going to miss time, not taking him before pick 100. Other rooms, it's going to be somebody's going to snap him up at 60. So I'm okay with not taking him every time he's available. I don't mind taking the Brian Thomas there, but I'm generally I think in on Rashee Rice at this kind of price. That's how I'm feeling about it.
Yeah, I don't. Let me just say, I don't hate it either. Okay,
Okay.
I'm not against it. I just whenever I get a chance with Brian Thomas late, and give myself an opportunity to get that second stacking partner with the quarterback I'm generally ahead of the market on, I kind of lean that way. And I don't
Yeah,
think Brian Thomas is going to fall either. He could also be a riser.
that is true. It was a nice
Um,
landing spot for Brian Thomas. That's a good point.
um, So I try to lean that way in my in planning out the draft and having a later stacking partner, if possible. That way, if I try to stretch it out, I don't get, I don't get buried with an uncorrelated team.
Yeah. So we might also be stuck with the option of Jake Ferguson goes, if Dak falls all to us all the way at 96, would you be more inclined to take Dak just at a depressed price tag, pairing him with CD Lamb, or would you just go Brock Purdy because we do have the double stack there? Like, is that like would you be a value hound, or would you just go with the correlation that we built in pretty strongly?
Tough, right?
Yeah.
Tough. Probably a value hand on this one because there's some wide receivers we can still add later.
Yeah, that would be my inclination as well. It's tough because we do have the double stack, and I love double stack with the quarters. But you're right, we can always add another Dallas piece or two later on. So let's
In
see
the San
what's
Francisco
available.
offense, McCaffrey can get his 20 points, and then it's just one of those guys that goes off in a week, and so you kind of flip flopping.
All right, so this is what we have in terms of my ranks. We have Dak Prescott at the top of the ranks, and then if I sort by ADP, this is what's available. Do you have a strong take on who we want besides Dak here? So I think we're in agreement that we want Dak here. Is that correct?
Yep,
So we'll go Dak, and then are you a Jalen Warren guy at pick 97 or Jonathan Brooks? Do you like something else?
I like Jalen Warren.
All right, I'm so glad to hear you say that because
Yeah,
yeah, I'll take Jalen Warren all day at pick 97.
I
All right,
haven't picked him a lot yet, but I'm very high on that backfield in general.
yeah, me too.
I just he doesn't fall, and a lot of the drafts I've done, he's been going, he never falls. So, um, yeah, I probably need to get more aggressive on him, knowing that. But
He's one that in a build like this where I don't have running backs, I will sometimes not like this exactly because I wouldn't take him at the previous turn, but I've taken him at like 82 sometimes. Like I'm willing to reach on Jalen Warren a little bit. Um, Alex is and he's stated the spinning before, but he doesn't think there's any way that Rice is getting the full 8 game suspension. I think he is probably right. Yeah, Hoosier. I have not done any DK drafts this year, but they're always so much weirder in general. Man, oh Bindles, you think 1 to 2 game suspension or having to push to 2025 is most likely? If that's the case, yeah, he is going to just jump. Like you need to be drafting a ton of Rushy Rice right now if that is the case. Good to see you, Ben. Our playoff best ball team hasn't really started much. We drafted a team on stream a few weeks back, and it made it to the second round, but we still need to get our players going tonight. Yeah, I think I think that's a good call, Bindles. I think you're right that if that is your belief that he's not going to be suspended even 4 games, like you got to be taking all the rice you can right now because he is going to be a riser for sure. Get that closing line value. And yeah,
it,
go ahead,
if
go
it
ahead.
comes out that he's like fighting it and going to court and doing it a lot, I do think if that's the case, that I will get pretty aggressive on him because
Yeah,
I don't think the NFL is going to make a decision until it's pretty settled and the legal stuff.
yeah, agreed. All right, so we get after our pick, Tua goes semi early. To the Tyreek Hill, Jalen Warren. So this Avinso got the Miami double stack going on. He's having a nice draft here too. I think he's got the Miami double stack. He got Lamar with Mark Andrews. Looks like a pretty solid team there. Jonathan Brooks goes to Johnny Kolar. Njoku at pick 100. No huge shocks here. I guess Jaden Daniels moving up a little bit. Jacoby Myers a little bit earlier than he has been going, but nothing too crazy. Um, Somebody, I think Bindles pointed out that yeah, Jalen Warren. I think you're right that it is kind of the leg up influence that he's going fairly early, or maybe it's the leg up influence on me that I'm taking him all the time because he's pretty high up in the leg up ranks, and I've been kind of moving back and forth between leg up and ETR ranks, and of course I make a lot of adjustments even after I use those ranks. But one thing I don't do is ever move Jalen Warren down. So yeah, he's always pretty near the top of my board. Um, any big surprises to you in these late picks?
No, I mean, looks like Rashid Shaheed's moving up. Khalil Shakir. Don't know how. I don't love that pick, but you know, it's fine. Does he have Josh Allen? Maybe that's why he did it.
He does. Okay, yeah, that's
Uh,
he got Kincaid also. That's I've tried pushing Kincaid, and he just took him ahead of ADP, which is probably smart. Yeah, he gets Kincaid, he gets Shakir. I think he makes sense only if you have Josh Allen right here at
Yeah.
pick 110, which
Yeah.
so good on him. All right, we are coming back around to our pick, and I'll read off our team so far. So we have CJ Stroud and Dak Prescott, probably good at quarterback. At running back, we've got Jalen Warren only. At wide receiver, we have CeeDee Lamb, Debo Samuel, Stephon Diggs, and Brian Thomas. And then at tight end, we have Kyle Pitts and George Kittle. So we're set, I think, at the onesie positions. We're just going to be building out running backs and wide receivers the rest of the way, is my read on this. Would you agree with
Yep.
that?
Yep. For sure.
Yeah.
Probably spent too much at quarterback, but
Yeah.
whatever.
I mean, we got Dak to fall to the
Yeah.
86,
Yeah.
so don't
We'll
hate
take
that.
it.
Yeah. All right, so we have Chase Brown at the top of my board. If we sort by ADP, Chase Brown is the top running back. How do you feel about that?
I don't mind Chase Brown.
All right, Chase Brown, and then could go Josh Palmer. I know, so I think I have leg up rankings in here. Josh Palmer is like 90th in the ETR rankings, so I could see him rising up more. I'd be fine taking Palmer. I'd be fine going Dobbs, Tyjae Spears. Do you have any hot takes here?
What's your take on the Gus Edwards went? Yeah, never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah,
Um,
I'm in on Gus Edwards, but yeah, he went one before us.
I'm okay with Palmer or Dubs or Tajay Spears here.
All right. I think
So,
my inclination is going to be Palmer just because I think like more people use ETR ranks than anywhere else. I think, in
mhm.
which case Josh Palmer is just going to keep moving up. So while he's still relatively suppressed, I think we take it. I might be wrong about that. Like there have been, and I've used ETR, for years. This is my first year actually using leg up, and I have been surprised in the past sometimes that players don't move up quite as much as I expect them to. So maybe not as many people are using ETR as I suspect. What do you do? Do you do your own rankings? Do you use another set?
I kind of look at everybody's. I would say my base ranking is ETR, uh, but I kind of look at everybody's and I make a decision from there if I want to move somebody up. If ETR is isolated on one person, I kind of just keep that in the back of my head and go ahead and let the market tell me where to go with the rankings.
Yep.
Um, and just kind of have these list of one-off players. If this site likes this player, this site likes this player, and then just keep up with it like that.
Yeah, yeah. So exactly what I'm doing right here. It's like I have leg up in here, but I'm like I know that ETR is really high on Josh Palmer. I know that they're really high on Tyler Lockett. So it's kind of like I would expect them to move up. So now is probably a good time to be in on those guys before they move up the ranks too much. I haven't actually looked at the whether ETR has run an update recently. I would assume they have. So maybe some things have changed there, but last I
You,
looked.
the DJ Shark news might have moved Josh Palmer down in their rankings. You think?
Oh, that's possible. Yeah, I
Yeah, it could.
hadn't thought about that. Um, and I don't really have I don't know that it should, but maybe I guess just more mouths to feed.
I mean, that's an ambiguous situation,
Yeah,
right? Any of those guys could be the one. Well, I think Lad McConkey. People feel really strongly he's the one, and that doesn't necessarily have to be the case.
not at all. Yeah, I think that I agree with you. It's a very ambiguous situation in general. Josh Palmer was actually I think decent last year, like actually pretty good. So maybe he surprises us, stays ahead of McConkey. They also got what Brendan Rice. Is he the rookie receiver they added? Which
Yeah.
who I think is kind of an interesting late round flyer in an ambiguous situation. Are you a college football guy?
I keep up with it for the sake of NFL,
Okay.
uh, but I don't watch it.
All right. So you don't have strong opinions on the players. You're not like, oh, this guy, he's going to be an alpha. You're not making those kind of calls.
No, no. I check out their profiles when all that stuff comes out, and you know, I try not to watch it too much and be biased on that. And then like all the clips that come out of during training camp or a couple plays they made in college, I try not to even watch all that stuff really, um, because it moves markets too much, and I don't want it to bias me.
Yeah. Yeah, I go back and forth on that. I'm trying to remember where it was. I think it might have been a leg up conversation with Pat Corain where he was talking about, and I think I sort of agree with him that maybe I do need to watch those highlights. You just need to watch highlights on every player, and then you're not going to be biased too much by them. I guess maybe you'll be biased in that you'll just draft all the rookies all the time if you do, but like maybe just watching the highlight tapes of all the rookies, you can then get a sense of like, okay, this is the type of player he is. Like, do I believe that that's going to translate to the NFL? I think there might be some value there, but I haven't done a ton of it historically. Haven't I've done a little bit of this year, watching some of the rookie highlight reels, but not a ton either. Because I have the same fear you do. Like I don't want to be biased by like watching how well this 6'2" receiver does on a 5'9" cornerback in college. Like that's not going to translate to the NFL.
No,
Um,
and they played at some Sun Belt conference, if that's even a conference anymore. Like
yeah, I guess
whatever.
I think we need to trust ourselves more to not that we're not going to let it bias us too much. Maybe
Yeah.
Dalton Schultz goes. I guess we have two tight ends, so I probably wasn't going to go there anyway. But that's kind of an early pick for Dalton Schultz without C.J. Stroud. I think I don't know. Seems fine, I guess.
I don't take him unless I have Stroud.
I
I think there's
generally
been a
don't either.
lot of talk about the tight ends here and about how this range of tight ends has really been pushed up.
Yeah,
Um, with the exception of maybe Goddard, but
both
I,
Dallas running backs went. I was kind of hoping one of them would fall to us. Do you
yeah.
have thoughts on anybody at the top of the board? So we got Jerome Ford, Xavier Legette, Jalen Wright, Ty Chandler, Jerome Burton, Jermaine Burton. I like all of this group, and then if I sort by ADP, similar. We got Jerome Ford, Legette, Wright. Who do you like here?
Um, I like Marshawn Lloyd really.
We can do Lloyd.
He might
All right,
he might actually get some playing time.
and
I
then we
kind
get
of I don't like waiting until the very end to fill out. I like some of these middle guys too, but Leggett is fine. I like Darnell Mooney a lot to pair with our Kyle Pitts. I like Jermaine Burton. Any of those guys are fine.
kind of like I do think Jermaine Burton is moving up. Bindles is in chat. I know he's going to want me to take Leggett, so I'll just take Leggett here. But I kind of want to be in on Jermaine Burton right now because I do think he's going to move up quite a bit. So
Yeah.
I'm a little bit like maybe I should have just taken him there before he moves up. But because Leggett I don't think is going to move up much more from where he is now. But just as a tribute to Bindles, we're taking Leggett here in this one, and then from now on probably taking Jermaine Burton in that spot.
Yeah, I don't mind either one really. I mean, but I think I generally agree with you. I think honestly, more times in this range than not, I'm clicking Darnell Mooney. But
Oh,
I'm
really
so
interesting.
well. And I probably shouldn't. I should probably be clicking Jermaine Burton or Leggett more. But I'm taking so many Falcons, and like even on teams where I don't have Kirk Cousins, I still like stacking the Falcons with my Kyle Pitts, my Drake London, the
Yeah, just
Bijan.
bet on the team.
Yeah.
Just Bomb Productions scouting. Wait, but there's a laugh. Is this a joke, Bindles, or is this something I should actually check out? Is that just where I find all the rookie highlights? Um, all right, Bindles, come on, you gotta chime in earlier. Let me know. Give me the okay to take Burton instead of Leggett. Bindles, by the way, coming on the stream on Thursday. Looking forward to that as well. I'm happy to have you guys coming on the stream. So happy to have you on here today, Blake. Happy to have Bindles coming on Thursday because it does get really long doing all the talking for 2 straight hours. It's like, man, I was losing my voice. So happy to have you guys on, help carry the load for me.
So structurally, where do you see this team landing? I mean, is it kind of in the 268 build or is it like a 277 build for you?
I almost never do 277.
Hmm.
So I think we're headed towards a 268. I mean, maybe this year I will do more 277 because it is like the running backs. Even though you need one fewer running back than wide receiver, you only get two running backs, three wide receivers hit your lineup plus the flex. Um, they do get hurt so much more frequently than other positions, and also in the case of a like contingent pick where it's like the starting running back goes down, it's pretty clear like the backup running back just becomes the guy. So there's a little bit more generally I think more contingent upside in running backs. So maybe I'll start doing more 277 this year. And this is the kind, I mean we did take wide receivers with our first three picks. I could be swayed to do 277 here. I guess we'll probably depends on what kind of values fall to us, like how we feel about our team later on in the draft. Would you
Yeah, I
agree with
mean,
that?
honestly, that round 18 pick is kind of like whichever is the best pick at that point, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like hard to say right now what we'll be doing. Um, oh, Just Bombs is YouTube highlights. All right, I'll have to check that out. Check out some of these rookies. Yeah, I don't think Bindles has ever done a stream. No, he's Bindles, of course, streaming all the time, doing guest streams all the time. Pretty prolific in the best ball space. All right, we're coming back around to our pick. Currently, we have 2362. See what's available. Bucky Irving, a guy that I haven't drafted a ton of, that I feel like I need to add to my portfolio a little bit. Um, feeling, I mean, so I have opinions here, but do you have any strong takes on
I
anybody?
think we start Jermaine Burton. I
All
think
right,
that's thing one.
yeah.
And then as far as I think our other pick, it could be a running back. I'm okay with the running. What running backs are available here?
So Bucky Irving is the one that I am. I don't have much exposure to him, so I'm a little bit inclined to go there. But if we look at ADP, Chuba Hubbard, I'm not doing Chuba Hubbard these days. I guess we could take Kimani Vidal. Tyler Algier is there.
I've clicked a lot of Kamani Vidal, and he's already risen. I mean, I heard it best yesterday. Kamani Vidal is either massively overpriced or massively underpriced.
Yeah.
I do like Bucky Irving too. I think that's more clear. So
All right.
either one is fine.
I just wanted your permission to take Bucky Irving because I have like zero shares of Bucky Irving, and I really
Yeah.
want to have some. So okay, I just want to hear you say like you'd be okay with taking Bucky Irving because that was those were the two that I really wanted there. Really happy with that turn for us at 168, 169, getting Jermaine Burton and Bucky Irving. I mean, I was thinking about taking Jermaine Burton where we took Leggett the previous turn, so
Right, right.
very happy to get him there.
I like this team. This team is coming together pretty nice.
Yeah. ATX to answer your question, yeah, Bindles he's got his own channel. If you click on his name, you can go find Bindles' channel as well. He does a lot of best ball content. It's always entertaining. David, good to see you here. Yo. Yeah, I feel pretty good about this team. This is actually one of the teams that I'm like I feel better about that I've done. So I'll have to remember to put your name on it, so that if we make the finals, you get 50% of the cut of whatever we get, which is more meaningful this year than in the past. Now that it's more flatter payout structure, much more likely that it's going to be a meaningful payout if you get there.
Yeah, you can just take my entry fee out of it if that's the case.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you better believe I'm taking that 1250 out if we get to the finals. Will Levis goes, Luke McCaffrey, Marvin Mims.
I like Luke McCaffrey too. I think
I have not drafted like any Luke McCaffrey. Maybe I need to start doing more of those back stacks. I think with Jaden McDaniels, or sorry, Jaden Daniels, and then taking Luke McCaffrey, Ben Sinnott, etc., etc. It's kind of a fun stack that you don't have to take too early, outside of Terry McLaurin.
the Giants receivers too, man. I'm gonna have to start drafting them because one of them is undervalued.
Yeah,
One of those late round guys is undervalued, and I drafted so many of them last year. I'm still kind of
burnt
raw
out.
about that.
me,
Yeah.
me too. Me too. I was taking all the Jalen Hyatt last year, and I think he
Oh,
had a couple spike weeks. Darius Slayton, I was in on last year. Yeah, but I mean, the biggest one for me was Blake, the tight end. I was taking a ton of Darren Waller last year,
I was
and
smashing Darren
just that
Waller.
just killed me. Luckily, I didn't. I only sort of chased him up. Like I was generally getting him early around like pick 90, where he was like,
Hmm.
and then he moved up to like in the 50s by the end of the year, and I was like, hell yeah, I got all this great closing line value on Darren Waller, and of course, closing line value doesn't actually matter if the player sucks.
Yeah, I drafted him early. I drafted him when he rose. I drafted him all the time. He might
Yeah,
have been my highest exposed tight end.
it just felt so good, so safe. Like he was, you didn't have to take him too early, and then you get your guy Daniel Jones was just, undervalued relative to how good he was the year prior. That all fell apart for us, exploded in our faces.
And he fell in this pocket. He fell in the pocket between like you were done taking receivers and you weren't quite ready to take running backs.
Yeah.
It was such a perfect pocket.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Jaden McDaniels. Yeah, it's my Timberwolves guy. It's my Timberwolves guy. That's why I can't help saying Jaden McDaniels when I'm talking about Jaden Daniels.
Carr, Fields. I don't know how I feel about the Pittsburgh QB situation yet.
It's the ultimate like I missed out on everything. I guess there's upside here kind of situation for me. Like I don't build out for Pittsburgh. I also take like I have very little. I think I have zero George Pickens in post draft stuff. Um, so I'm just not inclined to take those guys.
just got to remember that Arthur Smith is their OC, I guess, and just be out on that passing game as a whole.
Yeah,
I think that's probably where I'm gonna land, and for the rest of the year.
I'll take a falling George Pickens here and there. I guess just to have like I don't want to have zero exposure there, but yeah.
I'm not gonna push him.
All right, we are up, and man, it's all quarterbacks at the top of the rankings. Jalen Hyatt. I mean, we are just talking about. I'm big on. I could take Demarcus Robinson here. We did see by our ranks, Jalen Hyatt is up there. So if you do want to go with a Giants receiver, he would be on the board there. Anything else that you're seeing here? Will
So
Shipley.
I like Keaton Mitchell and Elijah Mitchell a lot.
All right, let's start with Keaton.
I
Um,
think Keaton Mitchell has standalone value that's
do,
not getting recognized yet.
all right, so we have five running backs. Do you like uh, Elijah Mitchell better than Jalen Hyatt and Demarcus Robinson? I'm good with any of these three.
I do because I like the contingent value there more for our team. And I feel
Oh,
like Hyatt, Demarcus Robinson, and some of the round 18 guys we're going to have options on are going to be the same thing.
yeah, that's probably true. I mean, it's I'm trying to be in on Demarcus Robinson this year, but there's also several late round wide receivers that I kind of like. OBJ is another one that's kind of interesting. Was better last year than I thought he was. Looking at yards per route run on the last stream. Of course, he gets older every year. Go figure. Which he's at the age where that matters.
So Keaton Mitchell for me is the guy that I can't quit clicking now. I think he's my highest exposed player right now.
He was pretty
And
good last year.
I don't get it. I mean, I don't know why he's falling because I mean, do we think Derrick Henry's going to be the third down back there? Is that like a given?
You mean a three down back? Yeah, I think so. I think that's kind of the assumption is that he's just a bell cow like he has been throughout his whole career. But I guess to your point, Derrick Henry is older. like he similarly is getting older every year, just like OBJ. So maybe he's not quite the bell cow we think he is. And Keaton Mitchell was pretty good last year. So
I
yeah,
thought he looked
it's a fair
great.
point.
I thought his profile as a third down back is pretty nice. I don't know what his, how good of a pass blocker he is, but if it's pretty good, like jamming Derrick Henry on first and second down and then putting Keaton Mitchell on the field seems like a pretty likely scenario.
True. Do you think he also has contingent value? Like, if Derrick Henry goes down, do you think you could see Keaton Mitchell taking on early down role?
I mean, he would almost have to, right? Who else is there? They
Yeah,
have that rookie,
true.
which I've also been drafting some of him too for that reason. But I I don't think it's a given that Derrick Henry will be the third down guy in mid to long yard situations.
Yeah. All right. First of all, Bindles, I'm with you. I'm very in on Bo Nix. I've been saying this, and then I also have drafted very little of him, despite being in on Bo Nix. Probably not doesn't make sense for this particular team, but yeah, I like Bo Nix this year. David Felipe says they also drafted Rasheen Ali and Justice Hill is still there. Of course, then he says he still likes Mitchell though. Yeah, I guess those are kind of. And then Hoodra says Keaton Mitchell is hurt. I think he was hurt last year, but I think he's going to be fully recovered by the start of the year. Is I think the expectation. Do you have any thoughts on that, Blake?
That's what I'm seeing. I mean, what I saw it was a clean cut.
Yeah,
So
I think that is accurate. So we have our last pick coming up here. We do have so we got Stroud. I think we have just two single stacks. We got Stroud with Stephon Diggs, and then we have Dak Prescott with CeeDee Lamb. This is where yesterday I had people calling for Jalen Tolbert as my last pick. When actually I don't even know if I had Dak in that one, so we could add to the stack there, or a late round Noah Brown, but it doesn't feel as good with Stephon Diggs there. Would you be inclined to add to the stack here? or just take best available?
I like Jalen Tolbert. That's kind of the guy I had in mind for this one. Another guy I've been clicking a lot is Kendrick Bourne, um, because it's another ambiguous situation, and he was pretty good last year with Mac Jones until he got hurt. So
True.
I kind of like both of these guys. I take Bourne a lot more than Tolbert because I think Bourne probably has more direct path to a ceiling, but or to like a consistent scoring for our team or for
Right.
any team really. But
Yeah.
I don't mind Tolbert either.
Yeah, so Tolbert is somebody that I don't think I would draft outside of Dak Prescott stacks. Like I don't think that I'm like super in on Tolbert this year, but I think this might be the spot to consider taking him just because we have a single stack. We only have one stack partner for each of our quarterbacks right now, which feels a little bit gross to me, particularly given that neither of them are great running quarterbacks. Like I kind of would have preferred double stacks there. So I think I would be inclined to take Tolbert here, but
Yeah,
okay.
totally fine by me. I mean, he's the third guy there, right? He might be the fourth in targets, but he's the third receiver. So
Yeah. Oh, and he goes. I think Johnny Kolar is listening to our stream. By the way, as soon as we talk about Demarcus Robinson, takes Demarcus Robinson. We are on the clock. So do we just go Kendrick Bourne here? I'm good with it.
yeah, I mean, I don't, I think if Rondell Moore's available, that's also a stacking option with Kyle Pitts.
Oh, that's a secondary stack.
Yeah, any of that is okay, really. I prefer Rondell over Noah Brown, but Kendrick Bourne or Rondell Moore,
All right. Well, we got. I think we're going Kendrick Bourne. I think we got
that's
Kendrick
fine.
Bourne. All right. So our we got logged out. This is the weirdest thing is happening. I'm gonna. Oh wait, never mind. Is this refresh? All right, never mind. We're good. Um, go back to that draft, read off the team, see if anybody else wants us to read off their team in this one. So we ended up with at quarterback CJ Stroud and Dak Prescott. At running back, we got Jalen Warren, Chase Brown, Marshawn Lloyd, Bucky Irving, Keaton Mitchell, and Elijah Mitchell. At wide receiver, we got CeeDee Lamb, Debo Samuel, Stephon Diggs, Brian Thomas Jr., Joshua Palmer, Xavier Legette, Jermaine Burton, and Kendrick Bourne. And at tight end, we got Kyle Pitts and George Kittle. I think I like that team. I feel like it's a pretty solid team there. Anybody else in chat want us to read off your team? If not, we're going to. I'm going to jump into another draft. Blake, are you still available to do another draft? Do you have to get out of here?
Yeah,
What are you
I'm
thinking?
available if you'll have me.
Yeah. Let's do one more draft.
Cool.
Um, Alex says ACL injuries for explosive young backs isn't an issue. Keaton will be fine. Slowish, non-explosive backs with multi-ligament tears usually take longer. Okay, good. That's what I want to hear because we just drafted Keaton Mitchell, so good to hear that. Yeah, I
He
think
is by far my highest exposed player right
is he
now.
really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I did not see anybody else in chat saying they want their team to be looked at, so let's just jump right into another draft. Hopefully, you guys will jump in here with us. Going now. All right, we got plenty of time. So if you guys want to join and draft with us, now is the time to join. There are
Another
spots.
stand I've been doing this year, and I don't know how you feel, it was the Chargers backfield. I'm trying to, like we did Miami last year, I'm trying to take a Charger and back in every draft. Um,
I'm not going to that length where I'm taking one in every draft, but I am I'm in on Gus Edwards. I'm in on Kamani Vidal. So like not to the extent where I'm like taking one every draft, but I'm definitely with you on having interest there.
I mean, all of them are either underpriced or overpriced, right? One of them, well, I shouldn't say one of them is significantly underpriced, and one of them is the other two are probably overpriced.
So you're also taking yeah, J.K. Dobbins is somebody that I am starting to think, okay, maybe I need to consider drafting J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
I have not drafted a ton of them yet. Are you're taking one of those three in every draft?
I think he's my highest owned of the three, but yeah, him and Vidal are my highest owned, and then Edwards is third.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean Edwards being the most expensive. Um, yeah, I think I probably have the most exposure to Edwards, although he's gotten way more expensive. Like there was a while, even after he signed with the Chargers, we could get him at like pick 150. So it's like, all right,
Yeah.
I'll just take that all day. And it actually, I don't think that actually lasted very long. He moved up pretty quickly. But now he's gotten to the point where like people sometimes take him, 105. So it's a
He's
little
in
bit
that
tougher.
pocket now, right? He's in
Yeah.
that pocket of all those guys that nobody loves but nobody hates.
Yeah, exactly. He's right there, and I kind of view him like similar to like a Devin Singletary or a
Yeah.
Chase Brown. Like I'm like, yeah, I'll just take whoever's available there. Yeah, Mister says I'm in on Dobbins, mostly because most are not. Got him at 180. Yeah, these days I'm definitely in on Dobbins at 189. I was not previously, but I kind of feel like he says he's going to be fully healthy. Whether you believe it or not, I think he's in a pretty good situation where he could have an opportunity, and he's a talented back. So
And
I'm back in.
he's with a guy that he's familiar with, Greg Roman, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
In an offense that wants to run a lot.
yeah. There's a lot of things I think. What's his ADP now? I mean, I used to get him in the 160s, 170s all the time. I don't know if that's where he's still at or not.
So we got, oh, no, not Baltimore. What am I doing? Um, we got Gus Edwards, ADP of 117.8. Kamani Vidal, 167.4. Oh, J.K. Dobbins, 158.9. So he is
Yeah.
still ahead of Kamani Vidal. Kind of feel like it's moving in the direction where Vidal is going to pass him in ADP. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just take J.K. Dobbins if I have. I mean, I'm taking him anyway, but if he keeps falling, I'll probably ride that all the way down
Yeah.
until there's a reason not to.
We were waiting for one more to enter. We've been stuck at 11 for a minute now. So if anybody is left out there thinking about drafting with us, take up that last spot. Let's get this thing going. Yeah,
Are you
just
are
to
you
say, I
doing
don't
a
think I
lot
have a
of
strong
the?
take.
I don't either, and that's why. I mean, I don't like one of them more than the other, really. And so I'm just kind of
Yeah, just
whoever
playing.
falls to me in my draft is the one I take.
Yeah, that's smart. Um, I'll come join if I can make it. Says via hoop. Yeah, hype. Come on down. Am I doing many of the? What were you saying?
Are you doing a lot of the double elite tight end builds?
A
It's kind of
ton.
the hype, right?
Yep. Yeah, and I mean it depends on what you consider elite too. Like a lot of mine will have Evan Ingram as my tight end too. But yeah, I'm definitely in on early tight ends. Although I'm trying to be more like I'm trying to expand my portfolio a little bit. So leave some like okay, maybe I can take a late Ben Sinnott or one of these later guys because I have very little of the late tight ends right now. Juwan Johnson, Noah Fant. Like there are guys available later that I'm like trying to remind myself you don't have to always smash the early tight ends. It's just I love the ADPs so much on Trey McBride, Mark Andrews, Kyle Pitts, like all these guys. Feels good clicking. Oh, got the number 2. Man, you are just I gotta have you on all the time, it seems. Get the 1 and the 2. So we're probably gonna have the opportunity to draft CD Lamb again. Do we just start with the same top pick?
Are you that much higher on CeeDee Lamb than Tyreek Hill or Jamar Chase?
I'm not. I kind of view them pretty similar. So
Okay.
we could go different.
I don't mind taking more CeeDee Lamb. I think that is a very good offense to target, but um, if you wanted to be different, I don't mind Tyreek or Jamar Chase either.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be fine starting with CD. I don't think I got much CD Lamb in the pre-draft stuff, so I'm okay
Mhm.
taking a good amount here. Several familiar names here, of course. Alex P. Keaton is Alex Keaton, so we know who that one is. I'm trying to remember Snatch Catchers. I know was in chat the other day, and I'm trying to remember who that is. Is that Mister? Somebody in chat or who was watching the stream the other day at least is Snatch Catchers. Oh, Alex says we're not going to get Lamb, so we could get pick 2. Okay, he took Lamb. Do you want to go McCaffrey? Do you want to go Hill, Chase?
Uh, I'm okay going Hill or Chase, whichever your pick is.
All right, let's go Tyreek Hill. I'm having issues with the stream again, so this happened yesterday, so we're going Tyreek Hill, and then I'm going to close out of this draft and come back to it. I don't know why this has been happening the past couple days, but let me close out of this draft real quick, and we're gonna come back. Good thing we have plenty of time before our next pick, because that I don't know what's going on there. All right. I'm going to reopen that window. It's a weird thing. It never happened last year, but it seems to be like a glitch with Underdog where it like signs me out all the time. And then I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but we'll get back. Go. Pulling the screen back up. Here we go. All right, so we got the board here.
And let me just reiterate, I'm not out on McCaffrey. I just want more information about the receiver situations before I start taking McCaffrey.
Yeah, yeah. No, I understand that. You're thinking as long as we have so much information left to get on the receiving rooms, like the hierarchies with the receivers, you want to take the sure thing receivers early on because you feel better about the later round bets on running backs.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I get that. Bindles, thank you for the reminder. I always forget to say it throughout the stream. Yeah, please do smash the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. I'm trying to grow this YouTube channel. We are very, very slowly adding subscribers to the channel. I need to add like a a stream on the bottom that says subscribers goal and what we're at right now, something like that, because I'm trying to build up some subscribers here. So if you would, I would appreciate anybody who has not already subscribed, please do so. Chris Ford, that's right. Chris Ford is Snatchcat, has had the name for 20 years already. Regrets having the name now. And then Mr. is TM Longacre. Are you in this draft? TM Longacre.
Yep.
Oh yeah, there you go. TM Longacre. That's Mr. And then anybody else? So we got Alex. I feel like Wolf of Fantasy might be somewhere in the chat. I think that's it. Those are the only names I recognize here. But we get not a surprise in these early drafts. You get a ton of badges in the drafts. And Alex, I guess, is not a badge. Has not done enough drafts to qualify there. But a lot of people who have done a ton of drafts are the people that are, go figure, drafting in early May.
Oh, here we go on the receiver runs.
Is this is Smith J? Is he throwing this draft? Took Jaden Reed at 19.
It must be.
Hopefully not. That would be a bummer if we have to throw this one out. But maybe he's just a Packers fan. Maybe it was just a misclick or something. All right, we are coming up on our pick, and we took Tyreek Hill with our first pick. So now if we go, oh, Achane went already. All right. Could take Debo again. We could go Nico and hope that Stephon Diggs comes back around. We could go Jalen Waddle, add on to our Tyreek Hill stack. What are you feeling?
I'm okay clicking Debo again.
All right, we could just go Debo. Seems easy enough.
Debo plays into my Christian McCaffrey like mini fade right now, right? So if McCaffrey goes down, Debo's value goes up, and
yeah.
Debo is also one that can rise. It's easy to see how out of that group, he's the one that rises.
Yep. My only thought there is, so we could have built out a double stack, or like if we took Nico Collins there, we could have then hoped for either Diggs or Waddle and done a double stack, which we didn't do. We could still do it with Waddle though. Would you like to go Waddle here, or would you like to just like screw it, just do one of these Houston guys?
I think I'd rather go with the Nico bet at this point.
We took Diggs in the last one. Take Nico here. I'm good with that. We'll mix and match our Houston receivers.
I mean the double stack is nice there, but and I mean who knows how long that's going to be available too. But Waddle, I don't know. How often did that double stack work? Maybe
yeah,
I don't think it worked at all
stack.
last year. I don't think both of them hit at all last year, and then the year before it was only twice.
Oh, the Hill Waddle double stack specifically. Yeah, I mean, the year before there were some weeks where it just went off though. Like it worked in a.
I mean,
big
when
way
it hits,
2 years
you
ago.
win, right?
Yeah, I mean I think I'm generally on the page of like I like overstacking more than understacking in general. So I like building out the stacks. But that's part of the fun of having people on the channel is you get to hear different like processes, different ways of building out. And that is I had Jacob Sanderson on the channel last year, or not on this channel, but when I was with Stochastic, we did a draft together where he basically so we took Jamar Chase early, and at that point, uh, T. Higgins was a second round pick, and we had the opportunity to take T. Higgins at the end of the second round, and he was saying, well, I think that this is a little bit early for T. Higgins. So we pushed him and we ended up getting him, I think, in the third round. But he made the point of like, T. Higgins, sometimes like the bet on T. Higgins is you're hoping that it doesn't work out with Jamar Chase. Like it's harder for them to like work out together. So I kind of get that. The not building out your stack too much too early is probably generally sensible because you're especially when there's like a clear alpha and a clear number two. It's like, well, the number two is really going to get there if the number one gets hurt. Like that's really the bet on a guy like Jalen Waddle. So yeah, I go back and forth on the do I just like build out the full double stack or don't try and force the double stack early on because that you really want for the number two, you really want the number one to get hurt or something.
I mean, if Waddle was a fifth or sixth round, and probably even a fourth round pick, I wouldn't mind it. But I mean, I do like Nico. I like DJ Moore. I like those other guys there, and so it's like I don't know that I won't do it at all, but it's probably going to be only a couple time thing.
So are you out on Waddle in general, or is it
No,
just you don't want him with Tyreek? Okay.
no, no. I think it's too much capital right now. I mean, when it hits, it wins. I mean, there's no denying that, and it's not a bad strategy. I think the opportunity cost there for like the entire season is, you know, what's the likelihood that that's the team that gets me to the finals? I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And if you advance a Waddle Hill team and they do it in back to back weeks, like yeah, that's gonna be, you're gonna be at the top of the board. You're gonna have a shot. But
Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah, it's so yeah, building out with three different teams, just taking the likely or the potential alpha. It's funny because we have both Debo and Nico Collins, where it's like not really clear that they're the alpha on the team, but certainly could be like Debo and Ayuk. It's a little bit unclear who's the alpha receiver there. Obviously, Nico has Diggs and Tank Dell to contend with there, but potentially we got three alpha receivers, which feels better than getting a one and a two from the same team.
yeah, no, I don't think it's a bad strategy though. I would tell people it's probably like a best strategy because when you're looking at it from a single week perspective, it's probably plus CB. But I just right now I'm trying to minimize those risks and just get the guys that I like now. The and worry about the stacks and the correlations more later. I still want correlation, obviously now. That's still a priority, but whenever
Yeah,
I have more information to build better the rest of my team better, I guess if that makes sense. Kind of
sure.
similar with the McCaffrey thing. When I
Yep.
have more information to build out that stack and have more certainty in what the rest of that team looks like, then I'm more comfortable doing things like that.
Yep. That makes sense. All right, so we have Tyreek Hill, Debo Samuel, Nico Collins. We're coming around to our pick. CJ Stroud now we could take again here, build out that stack again. We could also push it, see if I don't know if Alex has anybody. Yeah, he doesn't have the stack at all, so he has no reason to take CJ Stroud here. We could push that pick and think about if we even want to take CJ Stroud. We could also, especially with Mahomes still there, uh, Trey McBride, Mark Andrews, T. Higgins. How are you feeling about these picks?
Any of though, I'm really okay with anybody on this list, except for maybe Mahomes. I don't want to gamble with that, so I'll let you pick this one.
I think just because of the ADP being earlier, I've been taking a lot of Andrews. Let's go with McBride for this one. I also, I mean, I'm a Kyler guy too, and Kyler's going at. We could probably get Kyler at the next turn. So if we wanted to, we could skip CJ Stroud here, either go double tight end or take a Christian Kirk bet on that Jacksonville offense, T Higgins, whatever. I think any of those. I think I'd be in on any of Mark Andrews, T Higgins, CJ Stroud with this pick would be, or even Christian Kirk. Those are the four that I would be inclined to consider here. Who do you like?
Um, let's see. We did CJ Stroud last time, so let's go with T Higgins and see how it plays out. What do you think?
I'm good with that. Yeah, let's do T Higgins. Now with the next turn, we could. I mean, we could double click quarterback the next turn, even if we wanted to.
Right. Yep.
Alex,
And that,
this is interesting. Alex goes Dalton Kincaid and Rashi Rice, so he's going off the board in terms of ADP. Like he's like screw Mark Andrews. I guess actually Dalton Kincaid actually I think is higher in ADP than Mark Andrews, so I guess not off board. But then takes Rashi Rice rather than trying to push him to the next round. Takes Rashi Rice a little bit earlier than he usually goes, ahead of Xavier Worthy. And Alex, of course, has been in chat. He's a big believer that Rashi Rice is not going to be suspended. So I imagine he's just all in on Rashi Rice right now. Joe Burrow goes at 54 to the Jamar Chase. Okay. So I wanted to check in on our Jaden Reed drafter. So he's at least correlating very well. He took Jamar Chase number 1, Jaden Reed number 2, James Cook he reached a bit there, and then he takes Jordan Love and Joe Burrow both well ahead of ADP. So correlating, but definitely reaching a little bit on these picks. I don't know. I don't think I could say that he's throwing the draft. Do you think he's throwing the draft, or is that just I don't know.
nah, I don't think we're at that point yet.
Yeah, we'll see how the rest. Yeah, Mister is concerned that the draft may get tossed. Yeah, it's a possibility, but so far I don't think that we're at the point where it's clear that he's thrown. I think that he's his picks are all like good enough picks. It kind of seems to me that maybe he's just kind of getting his guys kind of guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's. I mean, it's not good, but it's not. He didn't take Jacoby Myers, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean it's correlated very well. So I don't know. It's interesting. CJ Stroud falls all the way to 58 because we didn't take him. Looks good for TM Longacre. Mister in chat gets Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, and CJ Stroud. So you're welcome that we did not take CJ Stroud. I hadn't even noticed that he was
Smash.
still going. Yeah, he was probably hoping that Joe Mixon would come around the turn too. Had a shot at the adding Joe Mixon onto the stack.
Yep.
Are you a big include the running backs in the stack guy even when they're not pass catching running backs?
I don't mind. Mixon is a pass catcher, right? If they're not a pass catching running back, I guess I am a little bit more out on it. I don't mind doing it, but I am gonna be more averse to it.
Yeah, I guess like Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry would be the perfect example there. Like, how do you
Right.
feel about that stack? Would you be more inclined or less inclined to take Derrick Henry if you were taking Lamar Jackson?
I'm probably not gonna do it.
Okay, because
I
there is like season long. I think there is positive correlation there. Like for like in general, it helps open up running lanes for Derrick Henry. That Lamar Jackson is a running threat himself, but like single game, it's obviously they're eating into each other. So it's one of those. It's a tough bet kind of sometimes.
hmm yeah. If my second quarterback was good, which I mean, I guess I could make more of a case for it. Somebody I felt better about having that ceiling, that Derrick Henry would take away from Lamar Jackson, I would maybe be more inclined to do it.
This is starting to feel more like a thrown draft with Caleb. He now has 3 quarterbacks here. Takes Caleb Williams at 67.
Yeah.
I
Brutal.
mean, I think we finish it as if it's not going to be thrown out, but now I am a little bit worried about it. He's also, a hyped up number 1 overall pick. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. But that is kind of a bummer. He's not a badge, so it makes me a little bit more like he might just not know what he's doing. But also
Yeah.
sometimes those non-badge guys are the ones who are just like all right, he's the one throwing the draft for somebody else.
Yep.
All right. Some good picks here. We could throw Kittle onto the Debo stack. Kenneth Walker still available. Kyle Pitts though still available too.
It's a big value on Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, that is my inclination is to just take Pitts.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
All right.
And that gives us some another stacking option later, since it looks
Yep.
like quarterback is getting ate up.
Yep. True. And then we do have potentially we could take Kyler here since quarterback is jumping off the board. If you want to take a quarterback this early, which I don't know if you do, but could.
What's our receiver situation like?
So we have Tyreek Hill, Debo Samuel, Nico Collins, T. Higgins at receiver.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean we two of our receivers, the quarterbacks are already off the board, but we have McBride, Pitts. We could add Tua later or Brock Purdy later, so we don't need to take Kyler here.
I
If you
think we
want,
take the value on Kenneth Walker and see what happens with our quarterback later.
all right, let's do it.
Because I like Kenneth Walker. I'm pretty in on him.
Especially when he's fallen 12 picks past ADP. Yeah, I don't hate that.
We have a
And
lot of stacking options, right? Like
we do.
we built it kind of like that so we could take advantage of value.
Yep. Yeah, we're doing the single stack thing again, which I think is totally fine. You know, like I said, I generally prefer double stacking, but also there are back stacking options for both
Yeah.
Murray and Purdy.
We should
For
probably
Tua,
start Tua and Kirk Cousins as well.
yeah, yeah. So we have plenty of options here at quarterback. And then, of course, we can always do I've said several times that I am in on Bo Nix this year. We can always try throwing that in later. Maybe take a Cortland Sutton, although he might
Hmm.
be traded. I don't know. But you can always do the Marvin Mims later. We could do who's the wide receiver they just added?
Franklin.
Yeah, Troy Franklin. So plenty of ways to make it work. Rough Buff Virus. How do they determine a draft to throw out? I don't know exactly. I imagine there's something to do with like how many picks are you that are like way outside of ADP is probably. Yeah, he takes Luke Musgrave now, which again is part of his stack. He does have the Green Bay stack, but I don't know.
I mean, I would think they would only be throwing out like the ones that are kind of borderline collusion.
Right, which it's hard to tell if this is collusion in some way. Like I don't know who would be colluding with in here. Maybe Wild Ways Outdoors. Are they colluding? I don't know. I don't think so, but
Is it
yeah.
somebody in chat? Is somebody in chat cheating? That's probably what it is, right?
You think so? I don't know.
Probably not.
Yeah, Mr. is certainly hoping that this draft does not get thrown out because he has a damn good start there with CJ Stroud, Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs. And of course, we just let him. If he wanted Kyler, he did not take Tyler. He took Ramondre. This person takes Kyler unstacked. So he was maybe just pushing Kyler there. Maybe just didn't think he needed him because he already has Stroud. But
Who has Waddle? Is the Waddle guy?
wait, there he is.
Right there. Okay.
Humble Legend has Waddle.
Trying to figure out if we
I mean,
how
he
we're
does
gonna do
not
our
have a
quarterback
quarterback yet.
situation. Yeah.
Hmm. So the Josh Allen drafter gets Curtis Samuel at 85. I think that's a slight reach, but probably worth it when you have Josh Allen. Yeah, I'm concerned this one's going to be thrown out because this team is just it's not great, especially with Caleb Williams being the third quarterback naked. That's where I start to be like, all right, it's not even correlating anymore. But we'll see. I really don't know how they determine. It might be also like if it's your first draft. I don't know if that would make it more or less inclined that they would throw it out. Like if it's your first
Hmm.
draft, probably you don't know what you're doing. So on the one hand, you're just like, all right, this guy projects the best. Like that's the thing with the quarterbacks. Like, well, the quarterbacks all project at the top of the board. So if you're just going by projection, he's just taking all the top projected plays. Um, I don't know. I don't know how they do it. I think it's
I mean,
probably
they
pretty
shouldn't throw it
statistical.
out unless they're concerned it's collusion, right? And like what that benchmark is for them, who knows? But
He adds DeAndre Swift onto his Caleb Williams stack, so he is now correlating everybody except for James Cook, which was within ADP. So I don't know. Yeah, it really should be only if it's clear that they are colluding is the only reason you should be throwing it out. But um, I don't know. Maybe it also might be like multiple drafters who have the same the same IP address kind of thing. I don't know. Don't know
Yeah,
how.
if they can get that information, that makes it much easier.
Yeah. All right, we are coming back around to our pick. We did not get the falling Kyler Murray that we were hoping for. I think he was the only quarterback that that we had start up that didn't make his way to us. We got Purdy, we got Tua. Um, and then at the top of the board, bunch of running backs at the top of my board. If we sort by ADP, also a bunch of running backs, a couple tight ends. Also, we have double tight end already. Do you want to go Purdy here or
I think we take the running back we like and get Purdy on the back end. So
okay,
Moss is my guy here.
like Moss over Trey Benson or anything? All right, I'm good with that.
Yeah, if Kyler was still available, we'd grab Trey Benson, but at
Yeah,
least Moss kind of goes with our T Higgins bat.
yeah, good point. I like that. I'm in on Trey Benson this year. I'm trying to draft some, but also I'm very much in on Zach Moss also. So it's a good pick for us. Alex gets Jonathan Brooks, another solid pick who I would have considered there. They say he's going to be involved in the passing game right away, so that's fun.
I mean, he's probably just going to be the guy at some point, right?
Yeah, at some point you would think he gets both
And
Jonathan Brooks. He gets both of the top rookie running back. That's fun for Alex. Then
now
we
we
just go,
snag Purdy. Yeah.
yeah, get our first quarterback. All right, so we have Brock Purdy at quarterback, Kenneth Walker and Zach Moss at running back. At wide receiver, we have Tyreek Hill, Debo Samuel, Nico Collins, and T. Higgins. And then at tight end, closed it out with Trey McBride and Kyle Pitts. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about this team. How do you like it?
I'm I'm digging it so far.
I'm aside from the fact that we are worried that it's going to be thrown out. We'll have to continue monitoring the Smith situation, how he's doing.
I mean, his picks make sense in some fashion.
Yeah, and of course, the later you get into the draft, the more it's like, as long as you're not taking anybody who's like way like not even in consideration, it's like, well, if you take somebody in the 10th round who has an ADP in the 18th round, like that's not that bad. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see what he does.
it's. I don't think it's obvious. I mean, he takes Komet
He
here,
adds
right?
Komet. He adds Komet onto his Caleb Williams stack. So he's stacking up the NFC North a bit with both Green Bay and Chicago. He's also got the Burrow stacked with Jamar Chase. Like in some ways, it makes sense. Aside, he's scrolling the F down, and then otherwise just he's correlating his team. So it's actually a fine team. Aside
He'll,
from reaching
he'll
out.
probably
So
beat us all. He'll probably win it.
yeah, I mean, if the NFC North goes off, he could.
Yeah.
Are you a divisional stacking kind of drafter?
I mean, right now I am a little bit. I tried to do it just because of the schedule stuff. But once the schedule comes out, I pretty much focus on trying to. It was week 17, and now I'm kind of listening to the arguments for the
Week 16.
importance of week 16 stuff as well. So
Yeah,
um, we'll see what they kind of come up with. I don't get into the math enough to know which
yeah,
one, but like the guys at ETR,
yeah.
they're pretty on
Leone,
top of that stuff.
yeah, yeah. I was listening to Leone on the Badge Bros today. I always like hearing
Yeah,
from Leone because he also a lot of the time I feel like he just like he's so like this is what the math says and here's what we don't know. Like a lot of times it's like I feel like he's speaking, putting words to the way I think about this stuff. He does a really good job of like, yes, thank you, like thank you for saying that. Like I don't know, just I always like listening to Leone.
I do
Um,
too. I'm a math nerd. I just haven't sat down to do the math here because I don't have time to
yeah,
do it, And so when he talks, it makes a lot of sense to me. It just I'll pretty much what he says in terms of the math is fine by me. I kind of take that as law at this point.
yeah, yeah. I think he's good at what he does, so I'm happy to listen to his thoughts on how much we should be trying to correlate. And he was saying today talking about the the correlation piece of and kind of on the same page as me of like liking to over stack, it sounded like, rather than like stack a little bit more on a team rather than doing just a bunch of single stacks, because you don't need them. You don't need every piece of your stack to hit every week with best ball. So it's a little bit different from DFS in that way. So I was glad to hear that, because I'm like, I'm generally inclined to, I like to stack up with, ideally three receivers with each of my quarterbacks is what I would love. But
No, I mean it's probably the right play, and I intend to do it. I just
yeah,
don't.
you don't force it if it's not like coming to you
y-
naturally.
Yeah, and if there's other plays I like more than doing that, like significantly more. Like I like DJ more. I like Nico significantly more than Waddle.
Oh, really? You're just not really in on Waddle?
I'm in on him, just not more than those. Like
Okay,
there's a
yeah, yeah,
break there, right?
right.
After
Okay,
that, there's a tier
gotcha.
break for me there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, and Tua went. I didn't see that Tua went, so let's see what comes. A lot of quarterbacks going off the board. We do still have Kirk available to us here potentially. Does Alex have? Doesn't have anybody from Atlanta. Does Alex have? No, he does not have. He did the little Buffalo sack, but he doesn't have Josh Allen. Interesting. We could take Kirk here, or we could take Chase Brown. Do the double Cincinnati running back. Take Brian Robinson. What are you thinking?
Um,
Cortland Sutton, and potentially take a later
let's take Brian Robinson.
Brian Robinson. All right.
Yeah, let's go ahead and build out our RB room. He shouldn't be taking Kirk Cousins here. You wouldn't think.
No, it wouldn't make a lot of sense for his team unless he's going to do like a Darnell Mooney, Kirk Cousins double tap maybe. I would be fine with taking Cousins. I'd be fine with taking Cortland Sutton, Chase Brown.
Yeah, I don't really want to miss out on our second stack, and quarterback is kind of weird in this room.
It
I'm,
is
I,
quarterback going a little early. Yeah.
I don't like it because Cousins falls sometimes, right? Like we could stretch Cousins,
If
but
we
I
take
don't.
Cortland Sutton, we have the late option of Bo Nix. But we also, our first quarterback
Yeah,
is Brock Purdy, which does not feel great.
we can try to push Kirk if you want. I'm either way. I'll let you decide. The value is there. The ADP value is there for me to be willing to try to push it.
All right, let's try and push him. Probably not going to work out for us, but it's more fun. More fun to
Yeah.
let the room decide. Let's check in on who did Smith take this time. Romeo Dobbs. So he's adding to his stacks, and yeah, Rough Buff says, "Is it you, Rough Buff Fire, or are you Smith?" Says he's probably listening, saying, "Hey man, I know what I'm doing." All right. I mean, yeah, it looked a little bit unconventional. Taking the third quarterback seemed a bit much to me, but overall the team it's correlated very nicely. Uh, Not too far off ADP on a lot of these picks, so for the most part, it's working out okay for him. But now, who is he going to take in round 11? Going to take Dontavian Wicks here, just really build into that Green Bay stack, take every piece of it.
Jermaine Burton, Brandon
Brandon Cooks.
Cooks.
All right.
Now, if he stays on brand with ADP, I think it's pretty clear he just had intention here.
He had what intention?
I mean, he had clear,
Oh,
clean
oh,
intentions, good
yeah,
intentions, I
yeah, yeah,
should say.
yeah, yeah. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. No, I think so too. Kirk Cousins goes at 128.
Yeah,
To
yeah,
unstack Kirk Cousins.
yeah. Figures.
All right.
That's okay.
He could do the later Darnell Mooney stack, I guess. He's only got one quarterback, so maybe just starting to worry about getting not having quarterbacks available.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was probably right to take Kirk Cousins there, given the way the quarterback room was going.
Maybe, but we do have some later back stacking options. I think I'm okay with Kirk Cousins like not falling back to us too. Like he does sometimes fall this far back to like 143. Like wasn't impossible that he would come back to us. It was unlikely, like you said, in this particular room that he was going to make it all the way back to us. But I think it was possible, and I didn't. It's not like we if we had the both Drake London and Kyle Pitts like already have the double stack there for Atlanta,
Yeah.
or even Bijan, then I would say like let's just do it. Let's just take our Kirk Cousins. But since we only have the single stack, it's like, whatever. We'll take Bo Nix late,
Yeah.
make it work.
And I do like Cortland Sutton too. Like in getting him at ADP. I don't know if his value is going to rise or fall. Really, I don't have a take on that.
Yeah. He's also, it's funny, like I want to stack him up with Bo Nix. There's also a possibility that he gets traded, like a strong possibility.
Yeah, yeah, that would be nice.
Oh, rough buff. You earned your badge. Good for you.
What is it? Buffalo would be a spot for him, right? Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I mean, there are ways that it could rise up for us. Jerry Judy goes. I guess we could have done the Cleveland stack later if Jerry Judy had fallen to us. But it doesn't feel great after the way last year went. Just like, man, that was.
Yeah, I'm kind of out on Jerry Judy. If he falls to me, I take him bad.
Yeah.
We've given Deshaun Watson like a year and a half now, and
Yeah.
Judy we've given all this time, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably a good like projection pick, but in real life, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Doesn't feel great. Cheswick did end up getting Darnell Mooney onto his Atlanta stack, so he made it work with the no longer naked Kirk Cousins. Smith adds a fourth. All right, so this is where he added a fourth quarterback here. I can say pretty confidently he doesn't know what he's doing, even if he does think he knows what he's doing. That's a little rough there. All right, so we have one quarterback, three running backs, five wide receivers, and two tight ends. Our pick is coming up. We could throw Pearsall onto our stack here.
That is fine. I mean, he's got what? It's a contingent value pick, and then he also, if IU got traded, that would work. I don't
I mean,
think
I'm
that's
very much
likely to happen.
into, yeah. I mean, there are a bunch of other picks I like here as well, but I think it makes sense to do the double stack here. Because
Yeah.
he also might have standalone value potentially, but it's probably mostly just contingent, yeah. Marshawn Lloyd goes. Uh,
I I think we start trying to work on our next stack. Um, and give ourselves some outs here. Either Jermaine Burton or Jalen Polk here kind of does that for us. Do you have an opinion?
well, Jermaine Burton, we can't. Joe Burrow's already gone. Oh, because you mean because we
Yeah.
have T. Higgins, so like a secondary stack?
Yeah.
I don't hate. Yeah, we could take Jermaine Burton.
Jalen Polk gives us a Drake May out later.
True.
That's kind of where I land with it, but because Jermaine Burton might fall to us too again.
Yeah, true. He fell all the way back last time. I suppose we could have. No, we already have We already have two elite tight ends. I was gonna say we could throw Kate Otten on there and take the hope for Baker to fall, but also unlikely he falls that far. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's good. Who else do we have at? I guess Troy Franklin we could have added to that stack, but
Hmm.
I guess is right at ADP.
I mean, he's probably still falling too, right?
Yeah, he is. He is falling. So we still have. I mean, we're probably not getting Stafford. We don't really have anybody to stack him with. I guess we, could do Demarcus Robinson late if we had taken Stafford there. Watson probably not coming back to us. We don't have anybody from Seattle, so I don't think we're doing Geno in this one. We do have the Drake May possibility. We do have the Bo Nix possibility. We could always stack up Daniel Jones late. And then Bryce Young is also another, like, you could throw on Jatavian Sanders, throw on, I don't know, there are some late options in Carolina where we could make that work, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I would lean Drake May or Bo Nix just because I think the stack is obviously stronger. I guess the question is if we do Drake May or Bo Nix, do we want to do both of them with Brock Purdy? Do we want to kind
I
of
kind
attack
of think
both of
so.
them?
I
Yeah.
kind of think so. It just like, I don't, I'm not confident that Drake May is starting all season. I kind of think he's not going to be the starter to start the year. Was
Hmm.
Cheswick going to do it to us again? He takes Hunter Henry there. Nah, he's already got two quarterbacks, though. Dak and Kirk. I don't know who would be. We'll see. But If he takes Drake May, we still got Bo Nix. I do think though that this is probably a 3 quarterback kind of room.
Yeah.
That's where I would lean. Smith added Chuba Hubbard to his team.
It's an ADP pick, right?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was really an ADP pick too.
Yeah. It was like a little bit ahead of ADP. Mostly just doesn't make sense because it's his 4th quarterback where he took 3
Right.
really early. So it's like, yeah, it's helps all the other teams in the room. So I'd say that. Now Alex has he has just 1 quarterback. But does he have who are Alex's late options? Oh, he has Malik Neighbor, so he could do the Danny Dimes late. Probably more inclined to do a New York stack. Oh, and he has Jordan Edison, so he's going a different direction than us, which is nice.
Yeah.
All right, our pick is coming up. Drake May, I would think we should be able to push there.
Yeah. I think we pick Antonio Gibson, right?
I was going to say either Gibson or Burton for this pick would be my inclination. Burton goes, so that just, makes it easy for us.
Yeah.
Pass catching running back, where we're going to stack them up, feels good.
And then we can grab Mims on the way back.
Would you do Mims? Like, you think we can push Drake May?
Risky business.
That is risky business.
Up to you. I'll let you decide if you want to push it.
Trying to think what we could take on the, like, if it doesn't work out, if somebody else snags Drake May, we could get Bryce Young, Derek Carr. I would definitely want to take. I think we're definitely in like 3 quarterback territory is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's try and push it again.
Okay.
There's nobody else who's building out New England right now. I guess except for Cheswick might be. He has Hunter Henry, but he also has 2 quarterbacks.
The only part about it that scares me is the room gets stripped, right, of the quarterbacks.
Bryce Young goes right after us to that. I don't love that. We could always throw on a late Justin Fields, Russell Wilson. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't feel great. We actually Sam Darnold, like, Geno Smith goes. So
we're not shooting too good here.
Yeah, this is not what we're hoping for when we took Marvin Mims there. 2 quarterbacks immediately, but we'll see. And I guess it was the one guy taking 4 quarterbacks kind of pushes everybody else to.
Yeah.
This guy has 3 quarterbacks already. 2 quarterbacks there pretty early. Kyler and Lamar. Allen and Stat. I mean, everybody's pretty set at quarterback, I think, outside of. Does everybody have at least 2 other than us? Alex has 2. We just have the 1. SG has 2. Wolf of Fantasy has 2. Snatch Catchers 2. Smith has 4. Humble Legend has. Oh, he has just 1. He has Jaden Daniels only. Cheswick has 2. Mario has 3. TM has 2. Outdoors has 2. Yeah, so we're one of 2 teams that only has 1 quarterback right now. So hopefully we can at least dream that would get our guys here.
Oh yeah, he's falling to us. We're gonna get it.
Oh, you're confident. You just believe. Putting that good energy out there. I like it.
Oh yeah. No, let's see. Now it'll be 16, 17. So we'll just kind of double tap quarterback here. It looks like.
And I've seen Drake May fall to the 18th round. Like, it's not like this is some huge fall for him. Especially like he might not start this year. Like, he's probably not going to be the starter to start the year, and who knows if he's going to be at some point. So yeah, Fields goes. So we lose the out of the late round Fields.
See, I'd just be more inclined if Drake May went. I'd just be inclined just to make it a 2 quarterback build at that point and just find it
Oh, really?
elsewhere.
Just go with Bo Nix?
Yeah, I mean,
So
rather than do something uncorrelated, in these late rounds.
yeah, true. I mean, I was thinking like we could throw on a Daniel Jones and then take a late round Giants
Slayton or
receiver or
somebody,
something, but
yeah.
yeah,
Looks like we're gonna get what we want though. Hopefully.
probably. Yeah, it's Jalen Hurts. It's kind of a fun double QB build with Hurts and Bryce Young. Oh, he takes Bo Nix. Oh no,
Unreal.
that is completely uncorrelated Bo Nix.
Okay.
That's
Good pick.
interesting. So we have only 4 running backs here. I don't feel as good about the 2 quarterback build with Drake May. Uh, we could throw Demario Douglas onto the stack. We could just take Derek Carr. We do need at least one more running back though. Do we go back to Keaton Mitchell here?
Elijah Mitchell probably would be my pick to go with Brock Purdy.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Man, what was he thinking? He got Jalen Hurts, Bryce Young, throws on a completely uncorrelated. Does
Tough.
he have anybody? Was that just to screw us, maybe? I don't know.
I would have felt a lot better about this draft if we got both of those guys,
I would have too. Yeah, like it's a little bit thin with just Drake May as our backup quarterback. Hoping that Brock Purdy can lead us to the promised land. We do have the double stack at least. Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking. I like Bo Nix. So I don't hate Bo Nix in a vacuum, but probably not taking him as a third quarterback uncorrelated personally. Maybe. It might be all right. He runs.
And we got stuff to go with him, so
Yeah.
I think, yeah, and then there's nothing. I mean, naked. No, he took Daniel Jones. Yeah, I think we just have to run 2 quarterbacks here and just roll with that. I don't think there's anything else that makes sense in the quarterback land.
Yeah. Trying to see if we have any other. Yeah, I don't think we really have any other stacks we could do here.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's a
I
weak
don't hate
quarterback
Brock
room.
Purdy.
Yeah, I mean we're rolled with Brock Purdy for half the year. Hope that he has a later bye and Drake May can fill in then in like week 9 or something.
Yeah.
It could work. We're a little bit thin at running back, but also not that thin. I mean, actually, I feel okay about this running back room. Kenneth Walker, Zach Moss, Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson, Elijah Mitchell. Like, I think he could play. And then our wide receivers are strong. We got Tyreek Hill, Debo Samuel, Nico Collins, T. Higgins. I think it's a pretty strong core. And then, of course, our tight ends are just killer, elite tight ends.
Yeah. I'm all for just picking whatever makes sense at the next round.
Take the best available.
Best available or a correlation pick, either one. If you have,
Yeah. Oh, Kendrick Bourne, if he's there, we could take.
yeah.
Don't know if he went. Pop Douglas went at 199.
KJ Osborne is also there, and he's not getting drafted a lot,
True. That's a good point.
And I mean, he could be the number one guy in theory.
True.
We don't really. I don't think that's how it'll play out, but he could be.
Yeah. Yep. What if New England is the team you need?
Well, then we're gonna win a lot of money.
Yeah. We could also who is the other New England quarter? We could do the double New England quarterback. Just like fill it up, have all of the, it might feel like a wasted pick.
What is it, Jacoby Brissett? I think I actually did that in a DraftKings draft yesterday.
Yeah, like I don't think that would be the worst. Just like make sure we have a second quarterback if we wanted to. Is it Brissett? Yeah, I want to star him. I'm
Um,
not saying that we should do it. I'm just going to star him just so, in case we want to think about that.
that's a
Um,
play because I like our receivers. I mean, it feels like the correlation would come at receivers, and I like our receivers just fine.
oh, Javon Baker too. I forgot about Javon Baker for yeah,
Yeah. So we'd be down to what, Kendrick Bourne or KJ Osborne.
yeah,
I prefer KJ Osborne, I think. I prefer Kendrick Bourne, but I like kind of mixing and matching them because KJ Osborne is just not getting drafted right now.
yeah,
Um, but at running back, there's not a lot there either. I
yeah.
like Will Shipley.
I like Will Shipley. I like Dylan Lobb.
Yeah.
Hmm. I'm debating. Do we want to take? It's not something that I'm going to handcuff often. My quarterback. This would be like the maybe the one team where I would think about handcuffing the quarterback. But
I'm
what do you?
against it. I'm
All right,
against it. I
all
like
right,
making the Drake May play.
all right. You
And
want to do
then,
Will Shipley, or do you want to do KJ Osborne or something? Let's do
yeah, I like KJ Osborne. I think
yeah,
it plays into, there's a lot of leverage there. He's not getting drafted right now.
yeah. That's true. I like that he's not drafted every draft. All right, so we're just leaning into it's gonna be Drake May is the guy in New England. He could be. I mean, he was third overall pick. They spent the capital on him, made the
Yeah.
bet. All right, so we will look at the draft board one more time. We'll start with our team. We got Brock Purdy and Drake May at quarterback. At running back, we got Kenneth Walker, Zach Moss, Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson, and Elijah Mitchell. At wide receiver, Tyreek Hill, Debo Samuel, Nico Collins, T. Higgins, Cortland Sutton, Ricky Pearsall, Jalen Polk, Marvin Mims. Is it Jalen or Jalen? I actually don't know how to pronounce that. We
I'm
got
not
Polk,
sure.
Marvin Mims, and KJ Osborne. And then at tight end, we have Trey McBride and Kyle Pitts. Alex, I know, is in here with us. We'll take a look at Alex's team. We got Trevor Lawrence, J.J. McCarthy, Daniel Jones. He has Kyron Williams, Jonathan Brooks, Trey Benson, Tyjae Spears, Marshawn Lloyd, and Tyrone Tracy at running back. A lot of rookie running backs there,
Hmm.
or second year guys. Wide receiver, he has CeeDee Lamb, Malik Neighbors, Rashi Rice, Jordan Addison, Keon Coleman, Josh Downs, Parker Washington. And then at tight end, he has Dalton Kincaid and a last pick, Theo Johnson. We also had Chris is in here with us, Snatch Catchers. He has Patrick Mahomes and Geno Smith at quarterback, Aaron Jones, Najee Harris, Raheem Mostert, Jerome Ford, Keaton Mitchell at running back, Justin Jefferson, Mike Evans, DJ Moore, Marquise Brown, Tyler Lockett, Rashid Shaheed, Roman Wilson, Demarcus Robinson at wide receiver, and then Travis Kelsey, Pat Fryermuth, and Noah Fant at tight end.
This is a
My
good team until you pick Noah Fant.
you're not a Noah Fant believer, or
I
you didn't
just,
want
I don't think pick three
he didn't
tight
need it
ends. Yeah.
on a Kelsey team. Yeah, I mean I think it's fine, but yeah, probably didn't need it on that team. And then TM Longacre takes C.J. Stroud, Justin Herbert, Ramondre Stevenson, Jalen Warren, James Conner, Zeke Elliott, J.K. Dobbins, Bucky Irving at running back. At wide receiver, he has A.J. Brown, Marvin Harrison, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Lad McConkey, Quentin Johnston, Michael Wilson, and then tight end, Jawan Johnson, Jonnu Smith, and Donald Parham. I think that was everybody who was in chat drafting with us. Mario Solar also in chat here. What do you think of my team, Mario Solar? Let's take a look at it. Gets Anthony Richardson, Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson with at running back Brees Hall, Josh Jacobs, Javante Williams, Kendrick Miller. So went early running back and just stuck with four there. At wide receiver, he has Drake London, Devontae Smith, Christian Kirk, Chris Godwin, Adonai Mitchell, Josh Palmer, Jerry Judy, Trey Palmer. And then at tight end, he has Evan Ingram, K-Dot, and Jelani Wood. So I think he looks like he has good stacks. He has Anthony Richardson with A.D. Mitchell. So and Jelani Wood. So double stack there. Baker Mayfield with Chris Godwin, Trey Palmer, and Kate Otten. And then he has Deshaun Watson with Jerry Judy. So you got the three quarterback stacks. I like that. Looks like a pretty strong team there. I have not been planning on doing another one. Somebody asked, via Hype asked, we're doing. I don't think we are. Blake, I don't know how you're feeling about it. If you want to do another one, I guess we could, but
It's totally up to you. I should be okay to do it. Hold on, let me check here. I got text messages. But if you're not going to, I don't have to either.
I am also realizing I've left my dog for 2 hours without my wife home, so I'm a little bit thinking I might need to walk him. Um, we could try to do another one quick if you're
Yeah, I'm looking.
look at your text messages. Let me know if you're. I'm
I
good
sh-
either way.
I
Not
should be
dying.
okay. I'm
All right,
good.
let's
If
jump
you
in
want to
real
do
quick.
another one, I'll do another one.
All right, we'll do one more. We'll do one more draft and then we'll call it. We're gonna jump in right away. So you guys get ready to jump into this draft with us.
Yeah, that guy eating up 4 quarterbacks really kind of did us in.
Yeah, that was it. Didn't go perfectly for us, but I think we made it work. I think it was an okay team.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of taking Brissett and Drake May. I think you just got to make your bet at that point.
Yeah, I think that's the one situation where I would consider it because I just don't. I'm not confident that Drake May I'm like almost confident that Drake May does not start from the beginning, but we still have Brock Purdy for this week, so I'm okay. I'm good with that.
I advanced plenty of 1 quarterback teams last year.
Did you really?
Oh yeah,
You mean due to injury, or you drafted one quarterback teams?
no, due to injury.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I did too. It doesn't feel good though to
No.
advance, but I guess we're also making the bet on Drake May. Obviously, if you're drafting Drake May, you're assuming Drake May is going to be the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, jump in, Chris Ford. We're it's almost full, I think. Get in here, snatch catchers.
Yeah,
If you
it
want
should have
to.
been a 3 quarterback build, but it,
Yeah, we got kind of screwed by the guy taking a naked, taking the quarterback that we had prepared for a multiple stack there. Sergeant Sweeney jumped in. All right, we got a lot of we're running it back. We got TM Longacre in here again. We got Snatch Catchers in here again.
oh, Juice is my brother. That's
Oh,
funny.
is it really? That's
Yeah,
funny. Is he a big drafter?
yeah. He kind of followed with me last year, and he did some drafts, but he's gonna max out BBM this year, I think.
Oh hell yeah. Uh,
So
so far it's not doing the weird thing where it like jumps around and like I have to refresh and do the whole thing over again. So that's good
mhm.
that we don't have to close the window, refresh everything. So what is your brother's drafting style? Give me some intel on your brother.
I mean, he kind of he loves CJ Stroud. He loves the Texans. I think he's pretty much like he doesn't care how expensive Stroud gets.
Oh
He's
really?
picking him. Yeah.
All right. Is it going to take him unstacked?
No, 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 no. He's fundamentally sound when it comes to that.
Okay.
We've had a lot of talks about that because we've done a couple of drafts together on like separate accounts, but in the same room.
Yeah.
And we talk like, man, you can't. If you snipe me, first of all, I'm going to report you.
Oh shit! Now it is doing the thing. Apparently, it just starts after the draft starts. Luckily, again, we are with the third pick, so we can make our pick, and then I'll close it out. McCaffrey goes 101. Lamb goes 102. We took Tyreek last time. Do we do Jamar Chase this time? Just completely,
Yeah,
different. Yeah, different
yeah.
stack every time. Yep. And I just got logged out.
I guess the good part is if we auto pick Tyreek, that'll be okay.
Yeah, I am going to shoot. This is we probably auto picked Tyreek there. All right, I will because I don't think I got the star in there. That is so bizarre that started happening. All right, working on getting back there. Yeah, we got Tyreek. That's kind of unfortunate, but at the end of like you said, not the end of the world to get the auto drafted Tyreek.
Yeah.
I will pull the board back up here.
If you're gonna have an auto pick, the first round is the place to do it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Here we are. We are back. I think I got to work on my layout here for when I have a guest on. Because when I throw up my best ball whenever branding, we just get completely blocked
Bang.
off when there's two of us. So I probably need to make a new one there. So we'll keep the branding off, but I'll throw it out for one more second to say, notice again that you can use promo code Flannel to get 15% off any Fantasy Points product, which includes the data suite. I am a big fan of the Fantasy Points data suite. I use it all the time for just looking at things like efficiency metrics, and they do grade things a little bit differently than like PFF, which I actually I don't I think PFF uses like official NFL, and I don't want to speak for PFF. I don't know how they do things, but I think they grade it a little bit differently. Whereas Fantasy Points does things like if a quarterback throws the ball out of bounds and isn't really targeting a quarterback, they don't count that as a target for any receiver, which I think is the correct way to do things. They do things like if a running back, jukes and avoids a tackle that's 3 yards out, that's going to count as a missed tackle in Fantasy Points. They have a team of people who watch every game who are grading these things. So it's kind of cool. I like the way they do their data. You can get, if you want to check out the data suite, 15% off promo code Flannel. I like this, Mr. Poopy Butthole. That's one of my favorite names. Mr. Poopy Butthole gets AJ Brown and Saquon Barkley building out that Philadelphia stack there.
If they didn't have a badge, I would be like, okay, this one's getting thrown out.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
I looked at that last guy's team. I think it's okay. I don't think it'll get thrown out.
Yeah. I don't think it was either. I think it was good enough that it won't be thrown out.
I really liked that last draft until he kind of shit the bed on quarterbacks at the end.
I know it was looking good. If we had just been able to, like, that one more pick, we're gonna be able to get our guy. But I have to imagine Sergeant Sweeney was watching, knew that we wanted him, and just
I mean,
wasn't gonna let us.
maybe Jalen Hurts and Bryce Young wasn't enough.
Yeah, I mean that's legit.
Not really.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's enough, but maybe it's not totally sold on Bryce Young. All right, we are coming up on our pick. We have Tyreek. I know you're not a big believer in doing the overstack, but Devin Achane, would you be more inclined to do Devin Achane with Tyreek Hill, or is that just you're just out on it?
No, I'm still waiting on Achane. I think he's gonna fall more.
Do we want to do Malik Neighbors, Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs?
So we used Nico last time, right? So let's go with Stephon Diggs and Tyreek Hill this time.
All right, mixing it up.
Yeah, we did Hill and Nico last time.
Yeah. Man, that tickled me reading Mr. Poopy Butthole because I was starting to read it before I'd actually read the name. I was about to like just comment on what he was doing, and then I read the name after I started, and that just like threw me off. And that's great. Nico goes. I was kind of hoping that Nico would fall back to us, but obviously pretty unlikely.
I mean, if we were gonna do the double stack, right, I guess it would have been Nico first and then hope Diggs falls. That could have worked.
True. Now I will say here, now we're getting closer to ADP with Waddle at pick 27. Or is it still too early for you? Do you still want DJ Moore here? Josh Allen?
I still think I like DJ Moore here.
All right. I'm gonna let you have it. We're gonna skip past the double stack of Miami in this one. It's one of those things that is pretty much always
it's so
available to you.
expensive right now. Yeah,
it's so expensive, and it's going to be available, I think, in general. So,
and right. I mean, it can still work even though it's expensive. Don't get me wrong, I'm not ignorant to that, but I'm just not ready to do it yet.
Yeah, that's fair. We got plenty of drafts to go, so don't need to do it right now. All right. How are these other teams? Do we have anybody throw in this one? Doesn't look like it, I think. Got for the most part, people are just drafting according to ADP, looks like. Yeah, this looks good. Marvin Harrison all the way up in the first round here.
That's probably where he's gonna land, honestly.
Oh man, Jalen Hurts, unstacked Jalen Hurts for Baron Burr. That's got to hurt Mister Poopy Butthole going for that Philly stack.
People are trolls, man.
They really are. Devontae Smith goes too. That's interesting.
Sam Laporta.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I know that it's a strategy that people use. I've talked with people who like to who intentionally break up other people's stacks that are just like, oh, I'm gonna screw you by taking your stack, and I really don't think it makes sense. Like it's like,
I mean,
okay, you're screwing me, but like you're not really screwing my odds of advancing from this pod that much. Like
yeah.
it doesn't really matter that much for this pod. I guess it maybe hurts me slightly in this spot, but what you're really doing is you're hurting me for the playoff weeks, and that there's so many teams in this. Like, okay, you're hurting one out of the 600,000 teams in the contest. You're just like you're generally, I think people are screwing themselves by trying to screw other people, and it's just I don't think it makes sense. But
Now, when
you
I
see
can
it
do
differently.
both at the same time, that's the perfect,
Oh
right?
yeah,
When I can help
if you can
myself
help your
and
own
hurt
team.
somebody, perfect.
Like I mean, we had the example where I didn't do it, but we could have taken Mark Andrews after somebody else had taken Lamar
Hmm.
Jackson. Like in that case, it's like this is I think the right pick for me, and it hurts you. I guess in that case,
Yep.
maybe you could do it, but
Yep.
I don't know. Where it's like somebody else clearly has built up, the three receivers, the only three pass catchers you want from a team, and then you take that quarterback that like who doesn't run unstacked, just like I don't know. I think people think they're more clever than they are sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, what's his options now? He's gonna have Goddard,
Yeah,
Johnny Wilson, so whatever.
yeah. Enjoy that.
Yeah. Nothing too weird yet. Pretty. Trey McBride went pretty early.
Yeah, yeah. Nothing too weird. TM gets Kelsey and Mahomes. Yeah, Billy says for some QBs for sure, but unstacked Hurts is totally fine based upon his running profile. I guess, but like he also reached way ahead of ADP for Hurts, so to me that still doesn't make sense taking Hurts where he took him unstacked. But
And I mean, his running profile is not what you would think either, right? I
right,
mean,
he's
it's
mostly just TD based,
yeah,
and they're losing Kelsey this year, so who knows if that's going to work as well. But yeah, he is like he's put up a lot of fantasy points on the ground. Yeah, and I not really talking about him specifically, by the way,
sure.
with my little diatribe, my little rant on on people breaking up stacks. I'm not really talking about Baron Burr doing this here. I'm talking about in general, like yeah, I agree. It's worse with the non-running quarterbacks for sure.
Josh Allen fell a little. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's pretty late for Josh Allen.
I'm kind of in on that. If when Josh Allen falls, I'm pretty much willing to take him and just try to back into some stuff.
And Baron Burr adds CJ Stroud. So you're now pretty confident that this is not somebody who's knows what they're doing. All right. We take Lamar Jackson here.
I'm good with that.
Zay Flowers already went, so we would be kind of banking on Mark Andrews falling back to us.
Yeah,
If you take Christian Kirk, what do you
I'm
think?
okay with Lamar
All
because
right.
naked Lamar. If you end up with a naked Lamar, like you still don't hate it, right?
Yeah, that's really not the end of the world. True. How are you feeling about George Pickens this year?
I'm playing that offense through the run game.
Yeah, same.
It's I think you said earlier I'll pick them up when they fall, and that's kind of where I'm going to be at with them. But
With
after
George
that,
Pickens, yeah.
yeah, well, probably any of the receivers. Honestly, I'm just going to be below ADP on most of them. Roman Wilson, I might snag here and there.
Yeah, I don't have any shares of. I actually don't know where he goes in drafts right now, so that shows where he is in the rankings that I use. Clearly not very high in the ranks relative to ADP. Mark Andrews does go. I was hoping, obviously, that he would fall back to us. We do have some backstacking options there with Baltimore, but that's not ideal for us, obviously.
No, Mar Andrews can do it on his
Uh,
feet. So.
we could do Christian Kirk. We could do. I mean, Isaiah Pacheco came out unscathed from the draft. What do you think?
Um, I like Kirk. I like Pacheco. I think I think we can work on a stack with Jacksonville if you want. Or we
Yes.
can go with another tight end if you like Pitts more than any of them. So I'm kind of okay with any of that.
All right, let's go Kirk. And see if I mean we could build out Jacksonville. Now we still got the Miami option, we still got the Chicago option. We got options here, so
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
I'm generally avoiding, like, I like the elite quarterback and then one of those mid round guys. But I kind of like the back half of the mid round guys more because of that running back pocket there. And I like to attack that running back pocket. So those guys in the back half, like Lawrence, Stafford, who's another one, Kirk Cousins. Those are
Yeah,
the guys I'm really probably going to be pretty overweight on. At least
yeah,
if it kind of if ADPs kind of stay close to where they're at, which they won't. But
yeah. All right, so we had Mr. says unless you think Jalen Hurts' running profile changes with the addition of Barkley, which is also true. Like I think that's gonna both the O line getting worse and they add an actual like good running back. I don't know. There's some warts on the running profile for Jalen Hurts. Yo Kastic knows all about what I'm talking about. This is Mike, my former producer on High Stakes. Big Eagles fan. Good to see you, Mike. But yeah, I'm not sure if Jalen Hurts. I mean, I'm drafting a lot of Jalen Hurts. So to be clear,
yeah,
I'm not saying I'm out on Jalen Hurts. I'm just there. I think it might be he might get better through the air, like, or they might throw it more this year and run it a little bit less. But who knows?
and Barkley might not fall down at the 1 yard line like
Yeah,
Swift
exactly. He
did
might just actually
27
get to.
times.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
I mean that DeAndre Swift, he wasn't great,
That
but
was wild.
like
Yeah,
he left a lot of fantasy points on the table.
yeah,
So
yeah. That's Mike agrees. Eagles haven't been had a between the tackles running back in a while. Got to assume the QB sneak numbers go down with Barkley. You would think. Tush push gets a little bit harder without Kelsey. Really loving this team for Mr. Poopy Butthole, who has DK Metcalf now paired up with Kenneth Walker. He's got Saquon with AJ Brown.
good team.
It is a good team. Jewel gets both Cook and Pacheco, strong running backs. Oh man, he's got 4 running backs already. Jewel has Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, James Cook, Isaiah Pacheco. I think you really got to stop taking any running backs there to land that plane.
I don't think I would take another one in the entire
I wouldn't
draft.
either. Yeah, I would stick to 4 with that group there.
But I do think that I think a lot of people are taking a lot of running backs. I think we're probably not going to get the running back value that we think we would get. So I don't think we should be too passive with running backs.
Yeah. All right. So my opinion here would be instead of going by rank, I kind of think we go Evan Ingram since we don't
I,
have a tight end, or would you rather go Brian Thomas?
I'm an Evan Ingram person here. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Since we don't have a tight end, I feel like it's just throw him onto our Jacksonville stack.
Because he's
And
the end of that tier, right?
yeah, to me, he's the end of that tier. And also
Yeah.
now, if one of these guys takes Brian Thomas, we should have the first crack at a reasonable price on Trevor Lawrence because
Yep.
we'll have the crack before them.
Yep.
Unless they want to really reach like a couple rounds ahead of ADP, then be my guess. But yeah, yeah. With the next round, we could probably go running back. I guess we do also have the option of Caleb Williams if we wanted to go there. Tua, but we have Lamar. We already went elite quarterback, so probably don't want that.
Yeah, I'm probably out on Caleb's price with Lamar. Tua, I'm okay with. Yeah, so here another I like Ramondre Stevenson here. What are your
Oh, do you?
ranks
I
here?
mean, we could do that. I was gonna say we could go Jordan Addison, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, but I'm good with just taking
I
Ramondre.
don't think we're gonna get a lot of running back value, honestly.
All right,
I
let's
think
do it. So now Glue Eater. I mean, if he wants to stack, he's in the position where he's probably gonna have to take Trevor Lawrence way earlier than he wants to.
Yeah, he's gonna have to do it the next
But
time.
he only has one Jacksonville player, so he might not even care about the stack.
Does he have a
Um,
quarterback yet?
he does not have a quarterback yet. He also has Keenan Allen, so he also might just take Caleb there.
Okay.
And then he has several. He has CeeDee Lamb, so he could throw on Dak Prescott. He has several options there.
You're not into Ramondre? I'm kind of big
No,
on
no,
Ramondre.
I am into Ramondre. I was just thinking we could have. I was thinking through wide receivers. I think I was partially there because I was assuming we would get Brian Thomas to fall to us, which is obviously what I wanted just to build out that
Yeah.
Jacksonville stack. So I had receivers on the mind, but yeah, no, I like Ramondre.
And see, this is a flaw. I think this is where some of my like logic is a little inconsistent because around 5, 6, and 7 and triple stacking there, I'm okay with that. I don't feel like that's too expensive in those rounds. I don't feel like there's a lot of opportunity cost where in the first few rounds I'm like, there's still some big scores up here, you know.
I don't think that's logically inconsistent at all. I think that makes a lot of sense. Like you're willing to stack it up, but you just don't want to pay early round price. I think it makes perfect sense to like, yeah, I'm willing to go 6, 7, 8 on the same team, stack it up. That's totally makes sense to me. Henry Siegel says, "Thank you, Henry. I like the hat, Neil. Is that Babe the Blue Ox and Paul Bunyan? Yes, it sure is. This is we went to up to a lodge, Grandview Lodge in Minnesota. They have a golf shop where they have a golf simulator, which we were not able to do. But while we were in the shop, my wife saw this hat, and of course my nickname, some people call me the Flannel God, and she was like, you I think you need this hat. Like, look at this hat. This is so perfect for you. So I had already bought, a bottle of water or something like, and I was checking out, and she was like, I think you need to buy this hat. And I was like, if you think I need to buy that hat, I looked, I was like, yeah, I definitely need to buy that hat. I'm a fan. So appreciate the compliment. Yeah, this is it's from the Longview. No, not what did I say? Grandview Lodge up in Minnesota. All right. Oh yeah, and by the way, I need to remind, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Trying to grow the subscriber base on this channel, and just last week, 2 weeks ago now, I guess I'm doing best ball drafts 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. I will be drafting. I'm generally I want to be doing more evening drafts. Currently, I'm doing a lot of drafts in the afternoon just because don't know if you heard, but the Timberwolves are in the playoffs. They're going to be in the playoffs probably for another month or so as they just continue to dominate everybody. So I will have some of my schedule. My evening schedule is going to be taken up with watching the Timberwolves, going to Timberwolves games. I also have softball on Tuesday nights. So not able to do as many evening streams as I can as I'd like to right now, but we'll be drafting primarily. Probably 2 Central is going to be the regular time for the short term is the plan. But I'll be doing a lot of drafts. So if you want to join me, come hang out. Would love that. Please do subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate it. All right, so we have we already took Lamar. So I keep forgetting that we already have an elite quarterback. So we really don't need to like force the issue at quarterback.
No.
We can let other people take their quarterbacks. So we can get our running back guys here.
We can attack the running backs here. I mean, this is generally what I'm doing. What's our wide receiver stuff look like still?
So we
I
have
think they're
Tyreek.
gone. I'm talking about who's left at wide receiver.
Oh yeah, I mean we have the next. Jameson Williams would be the next best.
Yeah.
I think we just probably just go running back here.
Yeah.
Uh, who do you like here? Tony Pollard, Zach Moss, Trey Benson.
I'm a Zach Moss person here, but if you have a strong take, it's up to you.
Yeah, I'm cool with taking Zach Moss. I like Zach Moss. As I said, I'm also into Trey Benson, but I think in a vacuum I would rather have like I'd rather have 100% Zach Moss than 100% Trey Benson. I think Trey Benson is like he's fun. I want to be overexposed to Trey Benson, but I think both the floor and ceiling combo is higher for Zach Moss. So I'm happy with that pick.
So Brock Bowers is getting to the place where I haven't drafted him much at all, but he's starting to get into the area where I'm kind of interested.
He goes. Glue Eater takes Brock Bowers. We could take David Njoku too. We could go Trey Benson here. Um, what are you thinking? Could go Tony Pollard.
I'd prefer to pick a running back here, rather than Njoku. Any running back is good by me, honestly.
All right,
Any of these
you're gonna
guys
allow
in
me.
this range.
let's take Trey Benson since we
Okay.
already have Zach Moss. I just listened to a video, and this is why I'm so in on Trey Benson. Listened to a fantasy points video with Scott Barrett and Brett Whitefield, I believe, doing their talking about Trey Benson, and they were both like really in on him. It was just like they're like historical comps for Trey Benson. Everything about him was like, man, he just sounds like such a stud. And then I don't hate the landing spot. Like I don't think it's perfect because James Conner obviously has been very good for a long time. Who knows if Trey Benson has a role right away? But it's also a strong offense. So if anything, like the contingent upside, I think for Trey Benson is enormous, and I think there's might have standalone value. So as a
I
third running back, I like him.
Yeah. Yeah, I like him in a build like this with where he's not getting leaned on. If he's like a running back too, that's where I'm kind of like,
It's a little thin, yeah. And I've
yeah,
done that, and it does not feel good when I look back on it. Like, it's does not. But as a running back three, particularly, I think makes a lot of sense.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they are. Man, it feels really good watching the Timberwolves just crush. Rough Buff Fire says sweep, absolutely. Chris, I'm glad to hear that. It's the viewership has not been like the live viewership is spotty in this time slot. Yesterday's there were times when it was in the single digits. Today it's been a little bit better. People like the guest streams, so hopefully I'll just continue doing streams with guests. It's more fun I think to do guest streams. I just need to be more proactive about reaching out to people. Blake actually suggested to me like he would come on the channel. I'm like, all right, yeah, let's do it. So maybe I'll try and do more guest streams at this time. Works well for me. It's the reason I'm doing it here is because it's like the perfect timing for me is to do it at 2 o'clock. I think YouTube streamers that I know will tell you should look at when your audience is actually on YouTube. You can see those metrics, and I don't think this is like the ideal time slot from that perspective when there are a lot of people on YouTube because a lot of people are at work right now. But works great for me.
I have a flexible schedule, so I'm pretty much like as long as I get my work done, they don't really care whenever I'm
Yeah, that's
logged
great.
in.
I think that's true. I think a lot of people are like it's more flexible now than it once was in general. Like
hmm
people can work around when they want to be doing streams and stuff.
Now the hope is I just win $1.5 million and take a couple of years off,
Yeah,
bring my
that's the dream.
profile in. Yeah.
What if you're willing to share, what kind of work are you in, or to the extent you're willing to share?
Yeah, no, I do like audit risk management and like fraud investigations for a regional bank.
Oh, cool.
So I pretty boring really. But every now and then you get something pretty interesting.
Yeah, when you catch somebody
Yeah, yeah.
doing fraud, yeah, nice. So with this next pick, this is where Glue Eater now he only has one quarterback. He does have Brian Thomas. So this is where I'm saying we have the first crack at Trevor Lawrence stacked, and we do have the double stack. So it probably makes sense for us to just take him, not risk Glue Eater taking him. Would you agree with that?
Yep.
It's a little like there are. I mean, we got Gus Edwards. We could. No, he's. I keep forgetting that Gus Edwards is no longer on Baltimore. I screw up because the running backs flip places. Baltimore and the Chargers throws me off.
Yep. No, and I think we just take our stack here. Trevor Lawrence falls sometimes too, but like I really think Trevor Lawrence is probably a little undervalued. I really like the offense.
Yeah, I do too. Get him right at ADP. Oh, he goes. Okay. Another person who's probably listening to our stream, Trevor Lawrence, to the unstacked purple, whatever. We could get our second tight end here in Dallas Goedert or take Devin Singletary, Gus Edwards, anybody else. Or we could take Josh Palmer and potentially take Justin Herbert.
Let's go that route. Let's try to get Josh Palmer and Justin Herbert because otherwise our stacking options are nil now.
Yeah, they're a little bit thin here. See, as we were talking about, I'm like, I bet this person's listening to us and just gonna take our.
Well, they have ATN.
I guess they do have ETN.
Whatever.
Yeah. They could throw on a Gabe Davis too.
Brutal. Not if we get him first.
Gabe Davis. Oh, Justin Herbert goes. All right.
This
Unstacked also. Yeah, this is just everybody trying to take our guys. All right, we could take Shaheed as another back stacking option.
Yeah,
Gus Edwards we could throw on here.
I'm down with Shaheed because I think that gives us also maybe like a Jawan Johnson as a second or third tight end. I don't
Oh,
know
that's a good point. Yeah,
how
no,
you
I like that. I like that call.
feel about. I guess two tight ends with Evan Ingram. I'm okay with that because I consider him. If you're gonna put him in that elite tier, I think you gotta kind of be willing to go in two tight ends.
Especially with if we do get Jawan Johnson, like I think that's a strong tight end room. I think that's totally fine.
Yeah,
All right, that's good to hear, Bird Doggy. Yeah, you've been pretty consistently showing up for the streams. Good to hear that. Yeah, we do still have to stack with Lamar too. That's a good point that Chris brings up here. Tez Walker, Rashad Bateman. I mean, we have some options there. We could do. Oh, it's Isaiah Likely. We could also throw on as another tight end.
hmm
One of the nice things about not having Mark Andrews is like, well, we know what happens when Mark Andrews is out, and it's just Isaiah Likely is then very good. So
that's how I played him last year. I just decided last year I was gonna be whatever Mark Andrews exposure I had. I was gonna have the same amount of Isaiah Likely exposure,
yeah,
and that
makes
paid
sense.
off.
Yeah, let's see how your brother's team is looking now.
Let's see how he's doing.
All right, so he has Jared Goff at quarterback with Sam Laporta, so that's looking pretty good. Just his one quarterback. I guess we can click on his name and read off the whole team. He's got Jared Goff with Sam Laporta. I hate the way it switches back to my team. He's got Derrick Henry. Yeah, it's not going to be. I'm not going to be on it long enough to actually read off the team. But he's
Yeah.
got his one quarterback is stacked up there. I guess we can look at it this way. Yeah, he's just got the one quarterback. He has got J Jets at number 6, feels good. Ayuk at 19. He got Derrick Henry all the way at pick 43. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, it does.
McLaurin right at ADP. He's got Kittle Laporta is double elite tight end. You got Jordan Addison at 78 is a nice pick. DeAndre Swift, James Conner. Solid team going for your brother.
Good team.
Interestingly, the Trevor Lawrence drafter did not take Gabe Davis when he had the chance. Went with Jacoby Myers instead.
Where did Adonai Mitchell? Where do you think he's gonna land? Whenever he kind of settles.
Yeah, probably. I would guess around this turn, like 144, 145.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a little bit early for AD Mitchell personally, but who knows?
I'm getting to the point where I kind of like 120s, 130s. I think I might be ready to start pulling the trigger on him.
Oh, you think so?
I don't know because if it takes him that long to fall down there, if and it comes out in camp like he's just the guy, like he's gonna come back up pretty quick. I feel like.
Yeah, that definitely could be true.
I there's a good chance that this window for him being this cheap is limited.
Ben Sinnott, man, Chris, you love your Ben Sinnott. I feel like you took him early the last time we drafted together too. I guess you got Jaden Daniels. You got to get your stack there, and Ben Sinnott, one of those guys that you kind of need to force it if you're going to get that stack. You got both Anthony Richardson and Jaden Daniels. Richardson with Pittman.
That's fun.
Interesting. Oh, we are coming up next. All right, so we are on the clock. Dowdle, Charbonnet. Anybody you see here that you really want?
I'm into Dowdle. I like Dowdle.
I like Dowdle too. Could be the RB1 there on a great offense.
Yeah. So I think where are we at in this pockets here? So I'm at the point with tight ends where I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't really care about any of these guys. I don't know.
I think I like Musgrove Grave the best of this trio, but I don't really have a strong differentiator there. I don't know. I guess Fryermuth you could also do. You could throw him on for a late stacking option, but I mean, we've got Likely and Jawan Johnson on potential stacks already, so don't think we need to do that.
What's the running back room look like now? Still,
So we have Ramondre Stevenson, Zach Moss, Trey Benson, and Rico Dowdle.
Rico Dowdle.
We could do the handcuff with Antonio Gibson. Could go Zach Charbonnet now that we don't have Kenneth Walker in this one. Marshawn Lloyd's still there also.
Kind of a tough pick.
Actually, Ray Davis is somebody that I think is going to continue gaining steam.
Yeah.
As the goal line back there in Buffalo. I don't have like any of him, so I don't hate that idea.
Yeah, yeah, that one's fine if you like it. Receivers are thinning out too. I think we have a couple of late round receivers that we're probably going to tack on with Lamar, though.
Right.
So yeah, probably a
running
running back. So yeah, if you like Ray Davis, we can stick Ray Davis.
I don't have much of him, and I feel like he's going to be a riser in draft, so I kind of like the closing line value there. Mm-hmm. Just like the goal line back in Buffalo. Like I know I listened to Scott Barrett did a press conference listening video where he mentioned that Ray Davis. It sounds like they kind of like him as a blocker too. So it's kind of like the goal line and blocking running back, which you like the goal line part of it, don't love the blocking part of it. I don't know. Seemed like the right time to grab him, though.
I mean, and then the contingent value obviously is pretty off the charts in that team. So
yeah.
No, I don't hate it. I think, and I'm gonna have to like in my head once these drafts start filling up, I'm gonna have to make myself click these names a little bit because I'm used to seeing them in the 150s, 160s, 170s, right? And I was clicking them, and I got to remember that this tournament is only 3-4% filled by the time people start really coming in. And so if you're getting them if you like them and you're getting them at 130s, 120s, 140s, it's still not a bad price. And I got to kind of overcome that in my head.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is, and you never really know, like, what is the threshold of, like, you should still take them here. I don't know. It's dynamic. It's interesting. It's fun. Not knowing. That's part of the fun. Rough Buffet says Rushy Rice under investigation for possible assault. Do you mean the car? I think that's still related to the car accident, right? Which I don't think it's like a new charge that you're talking about. I have not done the Anthony Richardson Jaden Daniels combo. Definitely feels like a high upside combo. Can see how that would be fun. Really loving this Roman Wilson pick here for Mr. Poopy Butthole. I just see it, and it's just how do you come up with that? How do you come up with that?
Can you just imagine like he's the one that wins it all?
I would love it so much if he wins.
Now Underdog has to like promote that name everywhere. Oof.
Yeah, it would just be so good. Like, would they force him to change the name? I don't know how that would work.
It probably would just be like, "What's your real name?"
Yeah. We'll call you by
just
that.
use that name. Yeah. But for PR purposes, I'd use the screen name.
Yeah, just stick with Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little controversy.
These are the kind of people who can win $1.5 million.
Yeah.
And Mr. Poopy Butthole can do it. You can do it too.
Did you watch the roasted Tom Brady stuff?
I'm 2/3 of the way through it. Really good. It's really entertaining. Have you watched the whole thing?
Yeah, I binged it the first night.
Yeah, I saw it. Like, I started it really late because I saw everybody on Twitter was talking about it. I was like, I gotta check this out, but then it was like didn't finish it. So still have some of that to look forward to. All right, so we're coming up on our turn, and here is where we have some options here. I'm going to start. So we have, as far as stacking options go, we still have, I guess all we have is New Orleans as far as late stacking options. So I will star. I mean, we have other guys we can add late, but we have Isaiah Likely, Jawan Johnson. We have Rashad Bateman, Tez Walker. Who are you liking for the stack? I think I'm going to move up.
We're
Juwan
on the
Johnson.
clock. Should we take a running back here, or do you want to go ahead and take? Let's take Juwan Johnson since we're on the button.
Yeah, I kind of think we need to. I think he's more likely to go. Uh, and then now we can think about, do we want? Now I think we just need one of these pass catchers for Baltimore.
Yeah.
And then I think we can probably push Derek Carr, although we tried that last time. It
Yeah.
didn't go great. What do you think?
I think we take Likely here, and then yeah, yep, yep, something like that. Maybe not Tez Walker. We'll just kind of see. I prioritize Derek Carr over Tez Walker, but that's how I would probably
Yep.
approach it.
I think this is right.
We should also tag Keaton Mitchell as maybe another
Late round running
correlation
back.
piece. Yeah.
True.
Because again, I'm still convinced that Derrick Henry will not be a 3 down back.
I feel like RT soon keeps. I guess he's thrown on the with Mark Andrews, so he's not necessarily just trying to snipe us. He's doing his own correlation thing there. Although he has unstacked, whatever. All right, Isaiah Likely. Our
Yeah.
final third tight end.
Yeah. And I don't hate that at all.
I don't either. Yeah, I feel good about this. Now I won't feel good about it if somebody takes Derek Carr from us, but there are some. If I think if Derek Carr gets taken before our next pick, we just take like one of these later round quarterbacks and try to make it work.
Yeah, I think we start picking up some Giants.
We have Lamar Jackson, so like we're pretty good at quarterback already. This is a
Mm-hmm.
different scenario than last time. And that last time we just had Brock Purdy, and it was like,
Yeah.
all right, but we have Lamar Jackson. We got the alpha quarterback already.
I get in this trouble all the time where I try to push quarterback way too much and then it just never works out.
Wait. Miss Bird says I tried to change my underdog name. Not allowed. Mr. Poopy Butthole. For Are you saying that is you? Are you Mr. Poopy Butthole, or are you just saying that this person is stuck with Mr. Poopy Butthole for life? Because if it's you, then I hope you get in all my drafts, because it's just making me laugh every time I see it. Every time I start to read what he's doing, I'm like, oh, Mr. Poopy Butthole.
Good backs going here.
Oh no, it's not him. Not him.
Mm.
Bummer.
Baker falls. I'm in on Baker too.
Baker Mayfield or
Yeah.
Javon? Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, sorry. I was looking at the draft board you got up.
Gotcha. Yeah, Baker Mayfield. Did he have stacking with Chris Godwin? Just a single stack there. Oh, good, because he has Caleb Williams too. I was going to say, if he only has that one quarterback, we could get sniped. But he has Chris Olave, but he already has two quarterbacks. So hopefully good. Hopefully happy with his quarterback room. Mr. Poopy Butthole adds Rondell Moore to his Atlanta stack. He's a rational drafter. Looks like his team is strongly correlated.
Yeah. Looks fine.
Your brother added on JJ McCarthy to his
Yeah,
team
Justin Jefferson
with J Jets. Yep. Love that. Maybe you'll throw on Drake May. Who knows? Got Javon Baker there.
What's he got? Yeah. I bet that's what he's going to do. He's also in on the Kendrick Bourne thing, so that's probably what he'll try to do is back into that.
Yeah, he goes Drake May.
Yeah.
I think right at ADP, a couple picks after ADP too.
Yeah.
Nice pick there. And also you had Jewel here took DeMario Pop Douglas. Can't add that to the stack, but New England has a lot of late stacking options. All right, I think we just go Derek Carr here.
Yeah, let's not play around with it.
And then if one of these guys falls back to us, great. If not, we're at least single stack there. So yeah, I think this is turning out okay.
Yeah, I like this team.
I think we're set at quarterback. I think we're actually pretty strong at running back. Ramondre Stevenson, Zach Moss, Trey Benson, Rico Dowdle, Ray Davis. Wide receiver, we only have 6 wide receivers. We did take 4 of them in the first 5 rounds.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then Josh Palmer, we got at a decent ADP. Rashid Shaheed. I think we have 6 strong wide receivers. So yeah, I think this is a very very strong team here.
Yeah, I agree. I like it. I think we're just kind of correlating now where it makes sense, which I don't know for New Orleans who's left.
I
Are
think
you
AT
Tez
Miller, like,
Walker or Keaton Mitchell here?
I think I'm Tez Walker here just
Okay.
because like we don't have any like full time starter, full time pass catchers right now.
Yep. 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 Let's
Um,
do that.
yeah, I definitely could have gone either way. If you were felt really strongly about Keaton Mitchell, I could have been convinced there, but I think I just leaned since we didn't have any receivers for Baltimore. Just like let's hope that we get the guy who's actually
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah. No, I like them both.
And then yeah, we could throw on. Let's see. Um,
Antonio Gibson is still available.
oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Your brother could add him potentially.
I bet he does. No, he added Keaton Mitchell too.
Oh yeah,
You should have added Antonio Gibson, bro. What are you doing?
come on, come
What
on,
are you
Juice.
doing?
Is your brother also there in Arkansas?
Yeah, yeah. No, we actually we live together, so
Oh, nice.
it's a lot of fun. I don't know where he's at now, but
You think he's home right now?
no, I'm at home. I don't know.
Oh, okay, okay, gotcha.
He's probably at work or something drafting. Who knows?
That's fun.
Shouldn't say that on stream. I don't want to get him in trouble.
Oh yeah. Did you think he intentionally is drafting with you? Like, did he seek out this draft because you're on a stream, or is that just random? Like, is he drafting so frequently?
It's no. It was had to be intentional. He just
Okay.
wanted to get on and
Yeah.
stuff. So, but he's also smart enough to know like you don't troll and steal picks and stuff. Because
Yeah.
like I had to explain to him like when you do that, that's still technically collusion.
Right.
So, it was a lot of fun. He he's really excited. I think about maxing out. This will be the first time he's ever maxed out
Oh yeah.
best ball tournament. So, and I've looked at his teams. Like, honestly, a few of his teams I've liked better than my own, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah. I mean, it really is not like rocket science. Like, even if you're new to it, like it's pretty easy to just come up with like a well structured team.
yeah,
In my opinion, you don't really have to get cute with the structure and stuff. I don't know. So there are plenty of time I see other people's teams. And I'm like, damn, that's a really good team. Wish I had that team.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shouldn't press quarterback. I end up with a 2 quarterback build with Drake May.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Bindles, good to see you back.
But I think that's also because, like, in our heads, like, we have drafted so many teams that, like, we've seen them fall 10, 20 picks so many times. And it's like, okay, that's probably what I need to win now. You know, in my
Well,
head, like, that's
you've seen who fall?
a lot of quarterbacks more than
Oh yeah.
anybody else.
Yeah. Right.
Those are the guys that, in the mid and late round quarterbacks in these drafts, they just randomly fall 10, 20 picks, and you never know which one it's going to be.
Yeah. True. All right, so let's take a look at our team and think about what we need. So we have Lamar Jackson, Derek Carr. I think we're good at quarterback. Man, your brother got Antonio Gibson in the 18th round after taking Keaton Mitchell. Yeah, that's not bad. We have Ramondre Stevenson, Zach Moss, Trey Benson, Rico Dowdle, Ray Davis, and then we have Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, DJ Moore, Christian Kirk, Josh Palmer, Rashid Shaheed, and Tez Walker, Evan Ingram, Jawan Johnson, Isaiah Likely. Are you inclined to? I mean, we could throw A.T. Perry on the stack. We still have. I know you're a big fan of Elijah Mitchell. We could throw him on here. What are you thinking?
Is Kendrick Bourne still out there? I still like Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah. Do you like Kendrick Bourne enough better than E.T. Perry to take him when he's unstacked?
Just stacking, yeah, that's a good question. Probably not. Probably rather make the A.T. Perry bet.
All right. All right. We got our team. So we finish with Lamar Jackson. I mean, it's about to reset, so I might as well wait. Okay, here we go. And this will be the final draft. Just letting everybody know ahead of time. I gotta go walk my dog. Let him out at the very least. Um, so we end up with Lamar Jackson, Derek Carr as our quarterbacks. We got Ramondre Stevenson, Zach Moss, Trey Benson, Rico Dowdle, and Ray Davis at running back. At wide receiver, we have Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, DJ Moore, Christian Kirk, Josh Palmer, Rashid Shaheed, Tez Walker, and A.T. Perry. And at tight end, we have Evan Ingram, Jawan Johnson, and Isaiah Likely. We had also in here, we had your brother in the room. Blake's brother got Jared Goff, J.J. McCarthy, and Drake May at quarterback. At running back, he has Derrick Henry, DeAndre Swift, James Conner, J.K. Dobbins, Keaton Mitchell, Antonio Gibson. At wide receiver, he has Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, Terry McLaurin, Jordan Addison, A.D. Mitchell, Jahan Dotson, and Javon Baker. And then at tight end, Sam Laporta and George Kittle. Man, I might like his team better than ours.
That's what I'm saying, right?
I
I
like
do.
our team quite a bit, but I really like his team also,
I
especially
do
with, I
too.
mean, Antonio Gibson falling that far past ADP and stacked with his quarterback. I'm a little bit jealous of that.
And he has a
Um,
Washington stack in there too.
yeah, he got the little mini Washington stack in here with Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson. He has really strong tight ends. I think the wide receivers are strong enough. He's got the double stack with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. Yeah, it's a very strong team there. Um,
Yep, I agree.
we got Chris in here, got the Anthony Richardson, Jaden Daniels stacks. That's a fun quarterback room. He has Joe Mixon, Najee Harris, Austin Eckler, Kendra Miller, Khalil Herbert, and Tyrone Tracy at running back. Wide receivers, he has Amon-Ra St. Brown, Devontae Adams, Michael Pittman, T. Higgins, Keon Coleman, Josh Downs, and DeMarcus Robinson, like that. And then he has Dalton Schultz, Ben Sinnott, and Jelani Woods. So does he have? He has just the single stack with Jaden Daniels. He has triple stack with Pittman, Josh Downs, and Jelani Woods. And then anybody else in here? TM Longacre, that's right. It's Patrick Mahomes and Bryce Young at quarterback. He has Jameer Gibbs, Raheem Mostert, Brian Robinson Jr., Gus Edwards, Kamani Vidal, Tyler Algier at running back. He has Drake London, Marquise Brown, Rashi Rice, Deontay Johnson, Mike Williams, Xavier Legette, Darnell Mooney, Malik Washington at wide receiver, and at tight end he has Travis Kelce, Jatavian Sanders. So he has very strong stacks here. With Mahomes, he got both Marquise Brown and Rashi Rice, and then with Bryce Young, he has Deontay Johnson, Xavier Legette, and also Travis Kelce with Mahomes, and then Jatavian Sanders. So he has triple stacks with both of his quarterbacks. Love that. And then of
Yeah, I
course,
like that
Mister
team.
My favorite team here, of course, is Mr. Poopy Butthole. Best team on the board. Just goes full on Philly without the quarterback. It was a strong. I'm actually not going to read it out because he's not in chat, but really strong team, really strong name there.
The running back team, the running backs did not come out great here, though.
For Mr. Early on, I was saying I really like the team, but yeah, actually these running backs with Will Shipley and Deontay Foreman as your running backs 3 and 4 in a 4 running back room is not ideal. He stacked up his teams. He got stacks with all of his quarterbacks. But the only thing I would say is those are not the best. And a strong tight end room. Just the running backs is the only weak thing there for Mr. Poopy Butthole. All right. We are not going to do another draft here. I need to go take care of my dog. Blake, I'm sure, has things to do as well. But this is a lot of fun, Blake. Really fun to have you on. Appreciate
Yeah,
you reaching out. Appreciate you coming on the channel. People want to find you. If you want them to find you, where can they find you?
yeah. I'm on Twitter at BKS _ collections. It's also like a trading account for me for some of my other hobbies. So, but it says BSandark in the name. So yeah, follow me. I'm gonna try to at least put some opinions up there so I can hold myself accountable for people.
Nice. So you can
Um,
retweet the good ones, delete the bad ones later on.
no. I'll keep myself accountable because
Good.
that's the best way to do it.
Yeah. Oh man, Via Hype says my James Conner pick was supposed to be Jaden Daniels. I messed up and settled for Drake. That is unfortunate. I don't think I read your team um, Via Hype. I don't know if I know your screen name. Anyway, you can come back tomorrow. We'll read your team tomorrow. via hype. I don't see your team there, but this was a lot of fun. Really appreciate Blake coming on here. Go follow him on Twitter. I think I put it in the description of the video also where you can find him on Twitter. But yeah, if you search BSandark, you will also find him there. You can find me at PlayerQDFS, but more importantly, you can find me on YouTube right here. Do like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. I would appreciate it. And I think I'll be back here tomorrow at 2 p.m. I, however, don't currently have a. Oh, he's Juice. Okay, that's your brother.
Yep.
I don't think I have a guest currently. My guest for Playing for Keeps did cancel last minute, so I may end up doing the stream tomorrow in the evening instead. Haven't decided. I will. I'll keep you posted on Twitter, and you can also just see when I post it on YouTube. But hope to see you guys back here tomorrow. This was fun. I'll catch you later.